those two things is it?
I think it's a combination, and I'll tell you because you left something out, and that is the Republicans in Congress and in the Senate are just so docile that they're just letting him do whatever he wants. So that's what makes him look like a
They have
diabolical.
no power. Don't blame them.
Yeah, they do.
They have no power. What power do they have?
They could have stopped him from what he's doing in Iran, for instance. They could have
No, they
stopped
couldn't.
this. Yeah, they could have.
And eventually they'll be able to, but they can't now,
No,
and they couldn't when he started it.
They could have.
What could they do?
They could stop. They could have stopped him from doing that from day one. They could have stopped
No.
that.
You're wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure.
How? How would they have stopped him?
And I see in the comments, Dinkow says, but the Democrats were smart enough to steal an election, huh? That's a good point. The Democrats are stupid, but they were smart enough to steal an election, huh?
That has been in place for way before these Democrats ever showed up. These Democrats, I'm telling you right now, and Dinkow would have a very nice career. I don't know what he's doing in here, but he'd have a great career in the Democratic Party.
He's not in here. He's on another platform, but
well, that's what I'm saying. What are you simulcasting this?
I am simulcasting this. Yes.
Good for you.
Okay, but the thing about it is, I posted a picture of Melania Trump showing, because this is what, for folks who are watching, this is what we're talking about. I posted a picture that Straight Talk took odds with of Melania Trump kissing Epstein.
Well, it was a plethora of pictures.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the pictures really because I knew that those pictures were AI generated.
I'm not sure of that. I'm not sure of that.
To those pictures that you posted that was real. I mean, look, I've got daughters. I have a wife. and when I know that you're posting pictures or somebody is posting pictures of events that never happened, every news agency on the planet are distancing themselves from it because they're afraid of getting sued. And then you go to the length to then put the sound effects that you put on it. I just, listen, I mean, you want to talk about credibility?
Hold on, let me interrupt and say something.
That flushing sound is where you can chase your credibility.
Let me interrupt and say something. I saw the pictures of Melania Trump kissing and being held by Epstein. I posted them to TikTok, and I'll swear to God to you, I did not add that sound. TikTok added that sound, and I was like, "Damn!" And I swear to God,
you cannot tell me.
Yes,
I invite. Listen, we'll leave it to the audience. Go to Tim's page. Look at the images that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Some woman on a pole, and a bunch of AI generated images of Melania kissing Jeffrey Epstein. And you tell me if the sound effects, the sounds that you hear are a TikTok special, like Tim is trying to tell you that they are.
I really would be, I'm just being honest with you. I would tell you if I made that shit up. I actually didn't. I was thinking I was going to post it with I was going to look up like a laughing sound or something like that. I posted it and that sound was added to it. And I just went with it.
Tito is saying, he's backing you up and saying that sound has been used on other posts before. So you and Tito, y'all's algorithm is a little questionable. I'm just saying that, Tito, you gave yourself up, son. You gave yourself up. Your algorithm is a little on the dark side.
I'm liking hey, Tito, give me some tissue. I'm liking Tito. Tito, give me some tissue.
No shit. No shit.
But I'm going to tell you something. What I just find the hypocrisy in is you're complaining about some sort of a graphic looking picture of Melania Trump, and you're okay with all of this shit, Trump celebrating the deaths of people, all this other stuff Trump does, and you want to suggest that Melania's sacred ground?
Okay, no, hold on. I never posted that Trump wished death on Mueller. I never posted the things that Trump said about Rob Reiner. Never. You can go through all of my posts, Tim. I never posted, hey, congratulations, President Trump. You're right. Women do like being grabbed by the pussy. I never said anything like that. So you take that hypocrisy and shove that completely up your asshole, too.
Okay.
Because that is not what I'm celebrating the president over. I told you before, and I'm telling you again, I have a lot of friends and family that say and do things that I do not support.
Well, the point is, and like one of my viewers, Danny, has said, but do you condemn Trump for posting shit like that?
I don't condemn anyone.
Then why are you condemning me?
That's a very good point.
Take your time. Take your time. Take your time.
Tim. I'm only condemning Tim. No.
I mean, I'm serious. And that was the first thing came to my head.
This started, hold on. This started as a private conversation between you and I.
Right.
Did it not?
I had to bring a couple people along.
Oh, yeah, I thought you did. You always travel in a big fat gang. I mean, look, and then you say, hey, start a live. You told me, hey, start a live.
And we're on your live.
No problem. Okay, Tim, you want to have a conversation? You can call me. You have my number.
We're doing good.
You wanted to do this in front of as big an audience as your ass could get.
You celebrate a man that loves doing things in front of a huge audience. I don't see why you keep criticizing me for doing the same shit Trump does. All of the stuff you're telling me I do, Trump does.
Whoa. That to me is the only thing today you've done right. Listen to me. I've been trying to talk to you for at least a month now. At least a month. I, a month ago, asked you for a private conversation between the two of us.
You did. You did.
You did. And you're too busy. You got a whole lot of time. I went ahead and moved on it, and we're good. But I'm just, this could have been taken care of in, a private conversation. That's how I move.
Well, listen, when you call, because you posted it on my page about the picture I posted of Melania. So many of my viewers saw it. So I was like, well, maybe the viewers.
I commented on your picture. I didn't put a post on your page.
Well, you commented
on your post.
Right. And the viewers saw it. So I figured I'd bring the viewers here to hear the conversation.
Yeah, I engaged. It's called engagement. You put something out there, I engaged with that content. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my point is this. If you didn't condemn Trump and MAGA for referring to Michelle Obama as a man and showing lumps in her dress, then you can't say shit when people say Melania is a hoe. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Well, then I'm good.
All right,
because, again, not only did I not post anything, but I have, as a matter of fact, said, that is the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard. If you go to Candace, every time Candace talks about it, you'll find my comments. Straight Talk Commerce it's not hard to find me. Those comments are there for everyone to see.
It don't matter that you post comments. You believe Trump is a great president. So fact is, he's a great president. 100%. He's a great president in your eyes while doing all the stuff you're condemning me of. So I'm in good company.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
John F. Kennedy, good president, great president. Where do you stand?
Great president.
Okay. Fucked around on his wife like nobody's business. Marilyn Monroe got slapped in the face over that shit. Lyndon Baines Johnson, big civil rights guy. You must love him.
Yeah.
Okay.
He literally.
Hold on. He once made a reporter stand there to interview him while he took a shit. So how's that for presidential?
I think.
Go look it up.
I don't disagree with your premise. I'll just say this. I believe because Hillary Clinton was known for swearing at her workers and stuff too. The difference with Trump is quantity and the fact that he does it publicly. He does.
How do you feel about Bill Clinton? Let me bring out your big guns in. I wasn't even going to mention Bill.
You're not going to find anybody that has the quantity of stuff like Trump does because the internet.
Bill Clinton.
No, Bill
Clinton.
Easily. Not even close.
History, and quality, no. Quantity, yes.
I don't even believe quantity. I don't believe it.
Dude, ask all those Arkansas State troopers. Man, 6 of them wrote a book about it. There was enough for 6 books from those state troopers talking about how when he was governor and when he was in the White House and would come home.
Well, yeah, if you're going all the way back to him being governor, that's like me bringing up Trump's reputation as a businessman. He didn't pay people and all. I mean, I could go into all kinds of shit.
He was in business.
Right.
That's not the same. Bill Clinton was a governor that never spent a day in private practice, never spent a day in private industry, ever. Let's get that clear.
Well, then you're covering a lot more years.
what President Trump did before going into public office, 2016, I think, was the first public office he ever held, was President of the United States. And I'm almost 100% positive about that. So from that day, inauguration day in 2017, 2016, whatever that was, until today, fair game, whatever.
Okay. Well, the point is, if you're gonna compare Bill Clinton's political career going all the way back, then yeah, you're comparing a whole lot more years.
Thanks, big boss.
I mean, you're comparing, you're probably comparing 2 to 3 times as many years of Bill Clinton to Trump, because Bill Clinton was only president for 8 years. You're comparing his career as a governor and all of that shit. So it's gonna be you're using way more years.
I'll spot you. Let me when you have DNA evidence on someone's dress that President Trump, gave to a 21-year-old in the Oval Office. You know what I mean? He donated DNA to that girl right in the kisser in the Oval Office while he was president and married to Hillary and father to Chelsea.
At least she was an adult. You got kids talking about Trump raped them.
21 years old. I've got a 20-year-old.
Kids.
If I found out that 50-year-old man dumped a load on my 20-year-old daughter, Secret Service would not have helped him.
First of all, he didn't dump a load.
He did.
Fact is.
What do you mean he didn't dump a load? He got all over her dress. What did she? I mean, come on.
Okay. So you don't see any difference between a 21-year-old and somebody that's like 13.
Whoa. Of course there's a difference. And who the hell is talking about 13?
The girl that was interviewed by the FBI 4 different times.
What did the FBI, Tim, what did the FBI say about that interview?
They say it was credible.
No, sir.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
No, they
Oh,
did
my God.
not. If the FBI had a credible interview with a 13-year-old girl and the FBI said, this is credible.
That's what happened.
No.
Yeah, it did. So they just interviewed her. They interviewed somebody that lacked credibility 4 different times.
What's that?
They interviewed someone that lacked credibility 4 different times.
They gave her 4 different opportunities. That's how seriously they took it. And all 4 times they came up with zilch.
Well, I'm telling you, you need to do your research on that. They did come back and say her statements.
I'm doing it right now.
Her statements were credible.
Because there is no friggin' way that the man, if the FBI came out and said, we found her to be credible.
Take your time.
The unnamed woman told the FBI in interviews that Epstein introduced her to Trump in the mid-'80s. She claimed Trump ordered others out of the room, told her, let me teach you how little girls are supposed to be. News reports that while the assault itself is unproven, some details of her life, legal history, and association with Epstein were verified. Investigated by Leo Jiffon scrutiny, 16 pages, 3 within claiming the documents. Duplicative. Uncooperated witness.
Take your time. I'm 100% certain of this one, Straight Talk. I'm 100% certain of this. This was news because they didn't want this stuff to come out.
Maybe you can find it because I'm telling you right now, I'm reading the entire thing right now, and nowhere does it say that the FBI claimed that it was credible or that they took it credibly.
Okay, first of all, there's still 39 pages.
See completely baseless. I see false, sensationalistic.
First of all, 39 pages of it are still not released, so you can't be reading all of it because they still hadn't some of it.
They just released 16 new pages in March. Email included in the files noted that one identified victim claimed abuse by Trump would ultimately refuse to cooperate in 2019. And this is, by the way, this is before he was president. So you can't.
What the hell does that got to do with it?
I'll tell you if you'll hey, listen to what I'm about to say to you.
Sure.
This is far sooner than he became president, so the FBI would have absolutely no reason to find this woman not credible. Why in the hell would they not have arrested Trump back then? Because they didn't find the information credible.
To be honest with you, and that's a great question you asked about why they didn't arrest Trump back then. To be honest with you, it's amazing that virtually nobody I think even hold on.
To answer for
Hold on a second. I think even despite both of us being on opposite sides with Trump, I think everybody believes that some girls were abused by powerful men. Yet nobody has been arrested. It ain't just why Trump hasn't been. They haven't arrested anybody. So we know people are getting away with it.
So doesn't that bother you at all? Doesn't it flavor this thing a little bit to you? Because it does to me.
Yeah.
And it also makes me wonder if the president isn't right and this whole thing is a hoax. They're not prepared to take anybody in. Hold on. Let me tell you something you might not know. Because the Democrats trot this woman out every time they talk about this subject. There is a woman that was a junior in high school or senior in high school at the time. Gave Epstein a massage. He gave her $200. She refused to have sex with him. She goes to school and recruited 8 other girls that became a part of this whole thing. Victim or no?
Victim.
Is it?
Because
I'll tell you something from me. I have 3 daughters. If my daughter came to me with the same fact pattern, said, "Hey, Dad, I made $200 giving this old dude a massage, and then I went to the school and I recruited 7 of my friends," guess what? That's not a victim, and that's my own kid, dude.
Oh my God! First of all, I don't care if my daughter volunteered to do it or not. It's pretty obvious that the dude does not have the best intentions. Why the hell does this old ass man want all y'all young girls around him giving them massages? You know what dudes are on. Come on now.
Hold up. If you want to start taking care of this, I got a shovel. I dig holes. That's what I do. Okay, I'm with you. If this guy hadn't hung himself, I would have been there to do it for him. Not a problem.
I think what you said is crazy, though. That you don't see these young girls as victims until they're taking the money. I mean, you ever heard of
No. It's not taking the money that makes them not a victim. When you want to claim to be a victim and you recruited 7 other people, no. You stop being a victim at that point, my friend. You're a victimizer.
You ever heard of
You victimized 7 other people.
You ever heard of Stockholm Syndrome? Isn't that what Patty Hearst? Wasn't Patty Hearst doing some shit like that?
Guess what? Patty Hearst is very lucky I wasn't her judge. Stockholm Syndrome. She would be no, dude.
Oh my God. Let me just say it like this. Go ahead. You got plenty of pimps that brutalize a hoe and also have that hoe out there recruiting new hoes for him. That happens.
Adult women, number one.
So it's even worse when it's kids.
Let me finish. At what point is there personal responsibility? Are you allergic to that? Do you just not accept any responsibility for any goddamn thing?
So you want the kid that was working with Jeffrey Epstein. You want the kid to be viewed as a bad guy.
What? Okay, you say kid.
They're not 18.
Okay, so 18. If she was 17, I get it.
That's
okay, so you're saying you're saying that if she'd have done that at 18, I'm with you if that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
I can accept that. It's not a problem.
I don't even think they were 17, to be honest with you, but keep going.
What I'm saying to you is I've known some people that were too mature for that shit at 13. I know some people you've never met my middle daughter.
Oh my God.
And I've met people that are still immature at 26.
I can't believe you saying this. Keep going. Just go ahead. I'm gonna let a little bit more rope out. I'm gonna let a little bit more rope out. Keep going.
Never gotten my middle daughter in that situation ever. She would have seen right through you.
So these girls that then went and recruited more girls, you don't view them as victims.
The one individual that they talk about in these reports that was recruited, paid for massage, offered sexual relationship and denied it, turned it down, said no. And he didn't touch her, by the way. She claims that he did not have sex with her at all. So in other words, he asked her, she's 17, gave her $200. She says, no, thank you, I don't want to have sex. He says, if you know anybody that might, she goes to school that day, as a matter of fact, and recruits 7 other people that might be interested.
Straight
and
talk.
You're saying that that's a victim.
Yeah, straight talk. Let me tell you why I say what I think what you're saying is not only bullshit, but horrendous. First of all, a grown-ass man paying a 17-year-old girl to massage him. That shit is wrong right there. That is a juvenile. That alone. Why the hell are you alone with a 17? That is wrong. And then hold on. And then no, let me finish. Let me finish it.
No, I'm gonna stop you. Stop.
That's wrong right there.
Stop. You are characterizing this with I'm okay with or I'm all right with, and that is not the case. I'm telling you the fact pattern here, dude. Start doing this fairly or get the fuck out of here. Now, it's not what I said.
Taking your words. Yeah, it is what you said. Yes,
no, you are not taking my word.
Okay. And people can hear you, man. People can hear what you say. Look at your comments. They hear you.
Obviously they don't. They have the same hearing and understanding.
Look at your own damn comments on your live. Look at your comments. If I was doing it live, I would bring up callers and ask them. But look at your own comments. They can hear you. And then you not only do you get a massage from a 17-year-old, then you ask her, do you got any friends? What kind of shit is that? Yeah, they victim.
That's what they asked her. That is what she says they asked her.
I can't believe you defended this shit.
You don't listen to the news at all. This is kind
I'm listening to you. That's what makes it even worse.
What I'm saying to you is, you don't even know that this is the fact pattern. This is what happened. You are stuck on Trump did all this stuff. You don't even know what actually happened.
I can tell you one thing, based on what you're saying, I see why you defending Trump. It makes more sense now. Based on the mindset of what you're saying, I can see why you don't think Trump did that wrong.
I see things for reality. You like to make shit up in your head, and he's a bad man. This is a bad man to you.
I'm going to tell you this straight talk. I'm cool with you.
You believe any
fucking
thing
I'm going to tell you this. I enjoy talking to you. I'm cool with you, but I'm going to submit to you this. Based on your language, you're a bad man too. You're also a bad man. Based on what you said, people in the comments like this dude is a predator. People think Chris Hansen is about to walk out of your crib, man. You hear what you said. The shit you said is terrible. You would get dismissed from every jury.
It's a good thing I don't go to the kitchen. I tell you that. It's a good thing I never go into my kitchen, okay?
You blaming a 17-year-old that is taking $200 from a grown-ass man.
And that's fine with me.
It ain't just me. People are listening to you and they're coming to the same conclusion.
Listen, Tim, you have attracted a very large group of absolute dumbasses. I get that. It's a very good grift. Okay. I applaud you for that. And you hear, the whole group of you hear what you want to hear. Right. And if you don't hear what you want to hear, you have no problem in shaping and twisting it into what you want to hear. And I was ready for that. I'm totally fine with that shit. What I am telling you is that 17-year-old girl, by her own admission, gave the FBI, this is the play-by-play, this is exactly what happened to me. And when she said I was given $200 for the massage, offered a sexual activity, and I refused it, they did not press it any further. And then I went back to school and recruited 7 other girls from my class.
Right.
I mean, that does not sound like a victim to me. I'm sorry.
Let me just say it to you like this. You can find plenty of young people that'll allow themselves to be exploited because they really need the money and they're not mature enough in their head. That's why they have laws to prevent you from doing it.
Yes. Totally agree with that. And I will say this, those girls that were recruited by the 17-year-old, every one of those girls can say they were victimized.
Including
if something happened, not her. No, not the one that recruited them.
Oh my God. To me, the minute you hire a 17-year-old to give you a massage, your grown ass getting a massage from a 17-year-old. First of all, think of it this way, straight talk.
Totally agree with you here.
Think of it this way. You got your own fucking island. Why are you hiring minors? You could open up your own massage parlor. There's a reason why you hiring minors. because you know you can't legally do that shit. And then you're telling them to come back with friends.
100% you're a sick fuck. Anyone that can look at someone that's even 17, 18 years old. I got an 18-year-old myself. Her friends come to my house all the fucking time. I don't even let my daughter have friends over when my wife isn't here because I am so freaking afraid of some kind of accusation from one of you jackasses that think the way you do.
Think the way we do, huh? Think the way we. You know, you asked me earlier in our conversation why nobody got arrested. I'm going to tell you something. Based on the shit you saying, I think it's people like you sitting on the bench of any courtroom is the reason why these guys get off. Based on what you're saying, you see the girls as more bad guys than you see the men doing it to them.
Well, I will say.
Oh my God. You should have been outraged by that. I will say you should be outraged by what I just said. Oh my God. Go ahead.
Thank you for allowing me to go ahead in my own fucking live. You said something.
Oh, God.
And I think to myself, if a woman is victimized like that, any woman, doesn't matter what her age, and she picks herself up and goes directly to the hospital and gets taken care of and reports it to the police so no one else gets abused, you don't want me on that jury because homeboy's about to be fired up. He is about to be ground into mincemeat.
All right.
But we have seen far too many people that are 10, 20, 15 years out and decide one day that they're going to come forward and they're going to start when it's convenient for them. And, I don't know how I feel about that.
Let me ask you this way then. Would you, when it comes to minors being abused by adults, because you mentioned 10, 15, 20 years out, would you put a statute of limitations on how long?
No. Let me just stop you right there.
Okay.
Fuck no.
All right.
So if somebody came up and said, hey, at 13 years old, I'm at the lake and this motherfucker here is the governor of our state and he did me, no. You drowned him immediately in the same fucking lake he did that in.
Okay. All right. So we're getting somewhere. But I think you and I, our main disagreement is the fact that you're trying to suggest that the young underage girl that recruited other underage girls is somehow a bad guy. I mean, I don't know what he told her, but the power dynamic is in play. You got an excessively...
Okay, and you know what? Fine. But that's not really what I'm hearing the fact pattern to be. I'm hearing the fact pattern to be he offered her sex, she turned him down, and he said, okay, cool, no problem. And then she went on her own volition to the school to recruit people who might be interested. Now, listen, it seems to me, and maybe this misses you, I don't know. But if he's not willing to victimize, this woman does not sound victimized to me. That is that is someone that took advantage of a financial situation. That's what it sounds like to me.
To me, that almost
17's too young. What? Okay, I get it. Okay, but what I'm saying to you is, he offered her the sexual relationship. She said no. He turned her loose. Didn't try and force himself on her. She took it upon herself to go find him somebody.
It's a kid. Straight talk. This is a child.
You keep saying that, but she refused, and he said, "Fine." You see what I'm saying?
I get all that.
If she was that intimidated, if she was that a kid, as you say, that not immature, not savvy, it seems to me that she would have been intimidated into having sexual relations with him. That's all I'm saying to you.
Okay. Listen, I hear the point you're making, but anytime a grown-ass man is doing this with a young kid, nobody's going to be looking at the young kid like, well, you should have did this and you should have did. Like I said, you don't know what kind of game he was running on.
The minute that she lost me, you keep wanting to ignore something. She didn't lose me at them, giving her the $200 and abusing her. She was a victim at that point. Here's where she lost her victimhood.
She didn't lose her victimhood.
Yes, she did. When she left his house and went to school and became a victimizer. Now, you may want to give her credit, or you may want to, overlook that. I don't. I have daughters. I don't overlook that shit.
I see a man manipulating a child to do just like we looked at Manson was manipulating people to get them to then go on and commit other crimes or do other things that were wrong. But the people were manipulated.
Yeah, what happened to the people that Manson manipulated?
But
what happened to them?
They were grown-ups, though.
Yes.
They were not.
What happened to them?
They got lighter sentences than he did.
But they stayed in prison for 60 years.
Well, people did die in the process, but at the same time, they were viewed.
Is anybody gotten out that did the Manson murders? Anybody get out?
I believe the woman got out, but they were viewed as also victims of sorts, and they were adults, 17 years old, 16 years old.
They weren't viewed as victims by me. Okay. You put yourself in certain situations. Tim, I'm a guy of personal responsibility. You have personal autonomy and personal responsibility. Period.
This is the first time, considering that I do have MAGA views on some of these platforms, this is the first time that everybody disagrees with the person I'm talking to. Everybody disagrees with you. I mean, like,
do you think that's the first time for me? Do you believe that I am not used to a bunch of morons listening to what I say and disagreeing with me?
Well, some of these folks don't just disagree. They think your ass is a predator. I'm going to have to wrap this up.
Listen, anyone that is uncomfortable in this room, there are plenty of TikToks that are going on right now. Anybody in the comments?
Jeremy agrees with you. Jeremy agrees with you.
That's why I'm not paying any attention to the comments right now. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, I am going to do that. Because I was about to go live anyway. I'm gonna get out of here because I'm gonna end up talking to some of these folks. So I'm gonna go ahead and start my live up now. But I'm just shocked, straight talk. I didn't expect you to view these little young girls as bad guys. I wasn't expecting that.
Well, I don't. And see, again, you're trying to mischaracterize what I said, and you're gonna do what you're gonna do. And there's nothing really I can say or do.
Well,
you understand what I'm saying. You can intellectualize it. I know you're a smart enough man to know, but that's not the narrative you want to push. You want to push that I somehow think that this girl was a victim, or that she was not a victim. She started out a victim.
I'm just saying, people can hear you, and they got a difference of opinion in the way you're explaining it. I got to go. I'll leave it at that. I got to go, but they have a difference of opinion. Straight talk. Thank you for letting me come up. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I'll go ahead and switch over to my own live now. For you folks that are watching it on YouTube, nothing's going to change. Hang on a second. I'm just going to go straight into my own here. That was interesting. I ended up going to his page. That's why you didn't hear me taking callers, because I was on his page, but now I'm about to start up my own here. I have nothing after that. Nothing to quote Whitney Houston. I have nothing at all to hear somebody talk like that. But let me see here. I'm just going to do test and broadcast because I wanted to talk about what how do folks feel that this negotiation that JD Vance and all them are involved in, but give me a minute to get this damn thing queued up. We're gonna queue it up back on TikTok, but this time it'll be my live and I'll be able to take callers, etc. And good evening to all of you folks. Now I can actually read your comments as well. So looking at the comments, he was trying to say 17 isn't that young. What the fuck is wrong with bro? Yeah, he was trying to say something like that, at least in my opinion. And it is young. Certainly for Epstein. I don't know how old Epstein was at the time he was doing this stuff, but he was a lot older than 17. Because there are some protections. If you were, let's say you're like 21 and you got a 17-year-old girlfriend, I think there has to be an age gap. Because there is an age where you become an adult and you still can have a girlfriend, and I'm saying because it's always generally they go at the men in this case. They don't treat women predators anywhere near as bad as they treat male predators, and that's a different conversation. You've seen how angry Gangsta Grandma got when I talked about that. But yeah, let's say for instance you just turned 21. You can now legally buy beers and you can legally do things that a full-grown adult does, but your girlfriend's 17 or 18. 17 is below the age of consent, but is it below the age of consent for a 21-year-old though? I don't believe a 21-year-old dating a 17-year-old should be treated like a pedo. Now, I know there's some places where it may happen. I don't want to get my own self and then just start sounding crazy by saying that, but I do believe if you're 21 and you're dating, because that would be a high school senior, you're at that age, you're almost coming out of college. So it is. I mean, it is a maturity gap. It's a significant maturity gap. But do I believe a 21-year-old dating a 17-year-old should, be put on the sex offender registry and all that? Nah. But when you're Epstein's age, yes, yes. But 21 and 17 is only 4 years apart. It's just you're in a predicament where you just crossed the legal age of adulthood and the other person is not over the line yet. Anyway, I'll go straight to the box. I'm sure a lot of you folks did hear that. I want to hear a defender of this. Jeremy, you're saying that Straight Talk you agree with him on this, right?
You're a pedo defender, you piece of bald ass shit. You deserve the fucking wood chipper.
Now, are you talking about me or are you talking about him?
Yeah, absolutely. You absolute piece of shit defending a predator. That 17-year-old is a predator.
Really? So
yes. And no, before you say any stupid shit, let me ask you this. Why is it that we can charge a 14-year-old as an adult if they commit murder?
That's a great question. And I'll tell you right off the bat, I don't agree with charging a 14-year-old like you would a grown-ass man. I don't agree with it. I think that a lot of that is based on public's desire for revenge. I don't believe in throwing a 14-year-old away like that. But that's a great question. You are right about that. That's a great question.
Yeah, I do. Well, because you know fucking better at 14 and you know fucking better at 17 and to not recruit other girls. That's fucking disgusting. And you're a predator defender.
Okay, well, here take a chill pill. Here's why I disagree. Because you said at 14, you know fucking better. Well, do they know fucking better enough to own a gun? Do they know fucking better enough to fly a plane, to drive a car, to vote? Only when they commit.
Only 2 years away, and you do. And then all of a sudden,
not only 2 years away. Hold on. You didn't hear what I said. You didn't hear what I said. If you're going to suggest that a person at the age of 14 should be treated like an adult, then goddamn it, treat them like an adult. Let them drive. Let them own a car. Let them own a gun. Don't only pick and choose when you want to make them an adult. If you're going to tell them they were adult enough to make the decision, then they should be able to make all the other adult decisions.
Tim, you can already get a hunting license at 12, and at 16 you can work and drive.
You gonna let them vote?
Those are under the age of 18.
Would you be okay with letting them vote at 14?
No.
Why not? They know well enough.
Because we've already established that there are different ages for different levels of competency.
So they're not competent enough to vote, but they're competent enough to know right from wrong and for you to throw them in prison for the rest of their life.
There's some things that are very obvious that you don't need a lot of immaturity to know better. At 14, you know better than to murder somebody.
Yeah. And like I said, this is where I totally disagree. My point remains simple. If you're going to treat me like an adult, then give me all the rights and privileges of an adult. It's simple as that.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you believe that the age of majority should be 18?
I would go with 21.
Okay. Well, do you think that we should wait till 21 to let people drive?
I'm trying to see, do I even believe you need to be a full-grown adult to drive? I mean, you can ride a bike, you can ride a motorbike as a kid. I mean,
a motorbike? You can ride a motorbike? What are you talking about? I was okay, like if you want
to, you can ride three-wheelers and everything as a child. I don't think you necessarily need to be a full-grown adult to drive.
You need parents' consents for that kind of stuff at that age.
But you don't need to be grown. You could be a 16-year-old who's been emancipated. You could be.
Yeah, but hold on. A 16-year-old can only start driving completely independent of their family at 16.
No, but
That's the only time they're allowed to do that.
I'm just simply saying I believe I'm fine with making the age of maturity 21. I don't think you need to be a full grown adult to drive a car though. I just don't.
Do you mean a 3-ton death machine that every single year kills more teens than anything else in the world? Are you serious?
For the sake of the argument, I'd be fine making them wait till they're 21.
Okay. You know what? I'll give you a little credit. There's at least a little consistency.
Because I didn't start driving till I was 20. So, I mean, I would be fine. Look, I know maybe if you want to make some special provisions, they're going to work, going to school or something like that. They got to stay off the highway or something like that. I don't know, but I'll be fine making them wait till they're 21.
I believe that there are different levels of competency required for different things. And we know that an 8-year-old is smarter and more intelligent than a 6-year-old. We know that a 12-year-old is more intelligent and competent than an 8-year-old, and we know that a 16-year-old is more competent than a 12-year-old. So then at what age? Let me ask you, since you said a 14-year-old knows right and wrong and should be charged as an adult, when it comes to committing an act of murder, how young would you go charging folks as an adult? Would you charge an 8-year-old that committed murder as an adult? No, I'd say the cutoff. I'd say the cutoff is 14. But every year underneath that, there's still a consequence. Like for instance, like maybe like those 13 years should be institutionalized. I think if you commit homicide, if you know that what you did, you did on purpose, like you just like blast some single mom to pieces with an AK at 13, I don't think you're fit to live in society. So you may not be to the point of evil, but you probably need some serious mental health issues, and you probably shouldn't get out for the rest of your life. So you would, I mean, so that's essentially treating them like an adult. And so you would essentially incarcerate a 13-year-old for the rest of their life if they committed murder. Well, I wouldn't put them in the same place that prisoners go to. They would get mental health treatments. They would get good food. But
they're never getting out.
Depending on how severe the crime was.
It's murder. It's murder.
I know, but there's different levels of murder. There's first degree, second, and third.
Okay. I don't know. To me, I'm going to chalk it up as that's complicated at that point. But King Finn says, sounds like we might need to hospitalize Jeremy.
That's okay. I don't really care what predator defenders have to say, like King Finn.
Well, other than you referring to that predator, the way you feel about charging juveniles as adults, you actually have the majority opinion. Most Americans are okay with charging juveniles to maybe not as young as 13 or 14, but let's say 15 or 16. If you're 16 and commit murder, most Americans are okay with charging you as an adult. So, I mean, yeah, your opinion is way more popular than mine. But I just simply say either you're going to treat the person like a kid or you're going to treat them like an adult. Don't treat them like an adult when you get mad at them. I mean, treat them like an adult all the time. Only when they do something bad, now all of a sudden you want to make them an adult so you can get them.
Ooh, I wonder who gave that one out.
You're about to find out. You're about to find out.
Finally, this little bitch actually decided to face me, you little predator defender fuck.
Oh, my God. Mike, good evening.
Hey, what's up, Tim?
I don't know. Have you been listening to this with Straight Talk? What the hell have I got myself? Am I on the wrong side of this?
No, you're not on the wrong side of this. And listen, don't listen to these total hypocrites when it comes to this topic, because they frame this narrative about this 17-year-old based on files, right? Based on the files. Now,
I know where you're going with that.
Now they're taking these files at face value, but they're not taking any of the rest of the things that are said in those files at face value and as truth. So if you're going to say this about the 17-year-old Jeremy, and I give you that, you have to take all the rest of those files at face value as well. Yes or no?
Yeah, absolutely, and I do. I think Trump is probably a predator. I think Trump is probably a predator.
But Mike, your conversation, while you're making a great point, probably was more aimed at Straight Talk than Jeremy, because he's admitting he thinks Trump is a predator.
I know, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, Tim. This stuff was on. This was on the table before they voted. This was on the table before Jeremy got off the Trump train. This stuff was on the table prior to them throwing their hands up. But the one thing I've never heard Jeremy say You come up with all this smoke for us.
They didn't release the files until he was already in office.
Let me finish. So you need the files? You don't care because there were other files before the e-files, right? There were other files from those contestants when he was in charge of the teen pageant. Those cases were out there before. The Katie Johnson files were out there before the election. Yes, Jeremy?
Those weren't very well supported.
They were just as well supported as the files that these 17-year-old has out there. Matter of fact, even
that's
I'm
not
gonna
true.
tell you why. That's not. Was there a case number associated with this 17-year-old statements?
Not yet.
Was there a case number associated with the Katie Johnson statements? The answer to that is yes. There was an actual case filed in court for Katie Johnson with Trump's name on it before the election. So if you got smoke with this 17-year-old statements that you just read, you should have had that smoke for the Katie Johnson files that were out there before the election.
And what happened?
We're not talking, see? Now you're pivoting because we're not talking about what happened.
Answer the question, what happened?
We're not talking about what happened.
Answer the question.
I'm going to tell you exactly what happened with both of them. Go anywhere, but you come up with this smoke for me and Tim from the same files you read then, but you had none for Trump with those files that were done back then.
Oh, I got some. Oh, you want to know I got smoke for you? I got smoke for you because we went on the premise. We went on the premise that that what happened with a 17-year-old was supposedly true, and you still wouldn't call her.
Let me ask you. Hold on. Let me interrupt and ask you that, Mike, because what Jeremy tore me a new one suggesting that the 17-year-old that gave Epstein a massage for $200 and then went and recruited some more of her friends to allegedly give Jeffrey Epstein sex and massages, that the 17-year-old was a predator. Do you agree with him that I'm defending a predator by saying this 17-year-old was actually a victim?
I believe that the 17-year-old was a victim because here's what I believe. You asked me what I believe. Did the 17-year-old refuse the SMEX acts but understand that they were making money by doing what they were doing and potentially didn't see any harm in it? That's a possibility. But the funny thing is they got so much vitriol and smoke for this 17-year-old, but not the smoke for the man who's asking her to do said thing is crazy to me now.
Wait, you think I don't have smoke for Jeffrey fucking Epstein? Fuck that guy.
No, hold on. But if you got it for him, see, here's the funny thing. Again, either you don't read, you don't have critical thinking skills to go back to the Katie Johnson. I'm going to keep going back to the Katie Johnson case. I'm going to go back to the Hollywood Access tape. I'm going to go back to the video of Trump saying he'd be dating a 10-year-old in 10 years as evidence of you didn't have smoke for that and you voted for him and you heard the audio. You didn't even need court docs. You heard the man suggest that he would be dating a 10-year-old in 10 years when she was 20. Now, let me ask you a simple question, Jeremy. And I don't know, maybe you've never dated, maybe you've never had pussy before. But have you ever looked at a woman that you were attracted to, that you wanted to date, and not been physically attracted to her?
No, what?
Okay, in other words, if you tell a woman you want, in other words, if you say I would love to date her, that means you think she's fuckable. And when he said if she wasn't my daughter, I would be dating her, he's indicating that meant Trump thought his own daughter was fuckable.
Attractive. That girl on the escalator, when he said, "Can you believe it? I'll be dating her in 10 years." In order for a man to say that about anybody, there has to be a level of attraction. Would you agree, Jeremy?
I think it's super creepy, and there's definitely suspected one. But if he's thinking hypothetically, he's thinking in the idea that if you roll the clock forward, she'll look like someone who's attractive.
Jeremy,
that's crazy.
Does that mean? Hold on. Does that mean I don't have alarm bells going off in my head? Fuck no.
But you voted for him with those alarms. You voted for him.
Yeah, because the other option. Yeah, because the other option was horrible Kamala Harris.
No, but one thing that you couldn't say about her that she was a predator. You couldn't say that she looked at you couldn't say that she looked at a 10-year-old or even his own daughter or even sexualize his own daughter, you couldn't say those things about her. So when you come up here calling me all kind of names and calling Tim all kind of names, but you didn't have that smoke enough to not take your weird ass in the booth and vote for that man, and all of that shit was on the table before the e-files came out. Everything I just said was on the table before the election, and you ignored it, or you beat off to it, whatever you did, but you come up here calling me and Tim all kind of names.
Sounds like rejection to me.
Well, it sounds like you let all that shit slide and still voted for him. That's what it sounds like.
No.
So that's what you did.
No.
Unless you're telling me you didn't know about any of that stuff.
I didn't. Well, some things I didn't know about, but for the most part, most of what he said just sounded like somebody who has a bad sense of humor.
Jesus
That's a bad
Christ.
sense of humor. Why would you get? Wait a minute. So you're going to give a grown man in his 50s? You're going to give him? Listen to yourself. You're going to give this grown man the benefit of the doubt.
I didn't vote for him in 2016. I voted for him in
2016, 2020. You voted for him in 24, right?
Yeah.
It was on the table in 24. What are you talking about?
I think in defense of Jeremy, I'm just going to say this, Mike. I think that the Trump administration has done a real good job in convincing folks that most of the shit that's come out that is anti-Trump is part of a witch hunt, Democrat conspiracy, and stuff like the fake news media. So
I'm sorry.
A lot of folks didn't take it seriously.
Cut you off. No, fuck that. Nope. See, here's the thing. Nope. And I'm saying it with the nope on it, the hard P. You know why? Because Jeremy, if that were the case, he wouldn't take those files serious. You understand what I'm saying? If he convinced
they
them
weren't.
All the hopes,
they weren't taking them seriously at first. They were not.
But what I'm saying, all of a sudden, as we sit here tonight, Straight Talks and Jeremy are calling us pedophile defenders because of a 17-year-old went to school and so they must believe the files exist now. They must believe that although he called them a Democratic hoax, they weren't real. His name wasn't in them.
I never thought. That's one of the reasons why I didn't.
Jeremy, hold on for a
3
second.
minutes.
No, there. And I'm saying it generally. I'm telling you what Donald Trump sold to his supporters. All of the things I just said. Democratic hoax. There's no there. He would never been on the island, which we know that's a lie. All the things he said, which we found out that were lies. But you look at the e-files now and you want to demonize this 17-year-old, then I must submit to you, let's go back to the things before the e-files and say, so what about these things that happened that you didn't demonize a grown man?
Well, let me answer your question. Number one, when it comes to the e-files, that was actually something I actually was mad at him for, and part of the reason why I left MAGA. Okay, that's number one. Number two, when it came to these other things, all these other things were not proven in forms of essay. They were just gross remarks that creeps me out at first, but they didn't prove anything.
Sure they did. They proved just as much as the 17-year-old docs proved, but it came out of his mouth. There's no third party. There's no he say, she say. There's no depositions. Donald Trump said out of his mouth, I like to grab him by the pee.
No. Let's remember what the conversation actually was. Don't misquote it. Okay, you're doing that on purpose. He said that women let you do stuff, which, by the way, I'm sorry to say it. I know people don't want to hear this, but a lot of women, oftentimes, who don't have good morals and don't have good people. Okay, no, I'm gonna finish. You can fucking wait. Okay, they oftentimes will behave differently around billionaires because they want to sleep their way to the top. That's what he was saying.
Are you excusing again? You can
no, he's a pig for saying yes.
Listen, you can do all that soft shoe tap dance and all the fuck you want. The man said, "I can't control myself. I just start kissing them."
That.
Wait a minute.
I think he did.
He did. He said he can't help himself.
He said,
Jeremy, would you like me to play it?
Let me see if I can find it. I'll see if I can find it so we can hear it.
I just can't help myself. I just walk up and start kissing them. And then they'll let you grab them. And I'm simply asking you, Jeremy, if you can excuse that behavior, how do you have so much on an older man that should understand that with power and privilege comes responsibility? if you can't find that smoke for him, why are you holding a 17-year-old accountable based on documents that were submitted that most people on your side, I'm not saying you, because you said you got off the train behind the e-files. Why did you ever get on the train to begin with the Hollywood access, with the Eugene Carroll case?
Imagine being
with the
Eugene Carroll was a terrible example. What are you talking about? There was so much that. Yes, it is. It absolutely is. Have you actually read the documents? It wasn't even in. It was in civil court too, which is an extremely low demand for evidence.
What did so did you? If you read the docs that you asked me, did I read it? What did the judge find in his findings? What did the judge say, Jeremy?
The judge sided with Eugene Carroll.
What did he say specifically about the case when in his closing arguments? What did he say?
Give me a second.
I don't remember that.
I'll tell you. The judge said specifically, if the statute hadn't run out, he would have charged him because it was clear that she had been physically penetrated. Now, if you're asking me, did I read it? Clearly, you didn't read it, because if you had read it and heard that from the judge, that judge is
they dismissed the judge. But you got to understand, Mike, they dismissed the judge too. I mean, the Trump side of the aisle, any judge that rules against Trump, they believe the judge is in on it as well.
I understand the hypocrisy, though, Tim. That's why I came up here.
I get it.
The hypocrisy to jump on you and call us pedo defenders while you simultaneously vote for somebody with a history longer than Jeremy. You're 39 years old. He's been doing this shit longer than you've been.
I'm 30, not 39. Get it right.
Oh, you're 30. That's right. That's that's MAGA reaction. You're 30. He's been doing this shit longer than you've been alive.
Damn.
But you didn't look at any of that shit, and you have the audacity to come tell Tim or myself that we are somehow simping for a P3DO, and we literally sit on this app all the time and try to convince you guys the person that you voted for and a lot of people in this circle are the very thing. That's kind of hypocritical, Jeremy.
All right, folks. I got to move it on.
And I did read it.
All right, fair enough. I got to move it on. Mike, thanks for coming through. Appreciate it. Well said, by the way. And Jeremy, of course, despite your anger, you're always welcome back. Thank you very much. By the way, since we're doing this now, tap the screen. This is kind of an improv deal where I was on someone else's live. A lot of you folks heard me talking to Straight Talk. And this all started, I wish I don't have it queued up on my screen right now, but I posted a picture that I saw online of Melania Trump kissing Jeffrey Epstein, and there's a couple other ones that referenced her, I guess put her in a light of being like a stripper or something like that on a pole or whatever. She was standing near a pole or something like that. Posted it on TikTok. And I forgot what the caption I forgot what caption I used by it. But anyway, in behind the picture, and I just posted it to TikTok. TikTok picked the background audio that sounded like somebody was having sex. I don't know how TikTok did that on its own, but Straight Talk didn't even believe TikTok would do that. I'm like, I didn't do it. I would tell you if I had done it. But anyway, he had a problem. Straight Talk, who is MAGA, had a big problem with reposting pictures of Epstein and Melania Trump kissing, suggesting that they're AI or that it's beneath me to do that or whatever the case may be. So I pushed back with Straight Talk because he has a photo behind him when he's live of President Trump's face on all four faces of Mount Rushmore. Straight Talk believes Trump is an A+ president, has never told a single lie. That's his own quote. Trump has never told a lie. So I just simply told him, how could you complain about me posting Melania Trump when we spent years of folks posting pictures of Michelle Obama's crotch, suggesting that she had a penis, or you're defending Trump, saying he's glad Robert Mueller and what is the other guy, Rob Rayner or whatever his name is, dead. I'm like, you'd have a point if the guy you defend didn't do so many things similar. So a lot of you folks seen the live of us discussing that. And that's what kind of branched off from this. And I see in the comments, Scott says, don't she? I haven't seen any evidence to suggest that Michelle Obama is anything other than a woman. I'll tell you it is, since you made that statement. For all of you folks who say the liberals don't know what a woman is, if you're suggesting that Michelle Obama is a man, perhaps you don't know what a woman is either. I haven't heard any explanations for who the mother of Obama's kids are if she's a man. Who created those children? So perhaps the right don't know what a woman is either. Looking in the comments, they're both liars, says Christian. Yeah. Can you lay out? Oh, you're talking about something in the comments, but Blue One Banks, I do appreciate the galaxy. Thank you very much. What I wanted to talk about before we got into this, and we can certainly continue discussing this as well, but the current negotiations going on in the where are they at? Jalalabad or Islam? I think the Pakistanis are hosting it. Do you think that this is going to culminate into anything successful? Because we know what we want, but I'm curious as to what we're giving the Iranians. What are we giving them in regards to coming up for negotiation? James Harper, good evening. Welcome to the program. James, did you hear any of my debate with Straight Talk on his platform?
No, I didn't hear it. I choose not to follow that dude.
Well, he has some interesting opinions. You choose not to follow Straight Talk. I get it.
Interesting. That's a polite way to put it.
Well, he believes Trump is a very successful president, has done very well for the country. I mean, he thinks that Trump is doing a good job. In fact, he believes Trump is one of the best presidents we've ever had.
Yeah, we all know that's a damn lie. Even historians will tell you that's a lie.
Well, any historian suggesting Trump is not a good president or not the best, everybody's judging the presidents on various metrics. Now, me personally, I'll give Trump, I always say this, I'll give Trump credit where I think he deserves credit, but I don't know by what metric, economic, world peace. I don't know, what are you using? What metric are you using to put Trump on the top? I don't know, but I do. He's not the only one that believes Trump is one of the best we've ever had. My opinion.
Well, MAGA believes that they're part of the 1%. Like anything that the GOP does, they think is automatically going to be positive for them.
Well, some of it will be. Some of it will be. Not all of it. I do believe what Trump is doing is making America great financially for the upper class. I think if you're impoverished, MAGA, I don't think economically or financially Trump is doing what's in your best interest. So I agree with you there. But there are some aspects.
They don't even believe that they're impoverished, MAGA. They still believe like the biggest recipient of these social programs are Black liberal people.
Well, there is a phrase out there that has been repeated many times that suggests if you can make the poorest white man feel like he's still better than the best well-off Black man, that's all you need to do. I don't know. Maybe it's something like that, but I don't think that impoverished MAGA are benefiting financially or economically from what Trump is doing. And you're right. I don't think they realize that.
Not benefiting.
You said what?
Middle class MAGA is not benefiting.
Well, middle class can cover. The tax cuts may help middle class MAGA. Getting rid of Obamacare, if you got a job that gives you good health care, then you don't need to have Obamacare there because it adds an extra tax onto you. So, there are things Trump is doing that may benefit the middle class.
Tim, come on now. The subsidies that you get from the ACA, that makes sure that you don't have to pay all them costs up front. We can't say that the ACA was helping them. Getting rid of Gutnick was helping them. Come on, Tim.
But there are people out there, James, who will tell you their health care got worse after Obamacare was implemented. Middle class people.
Yeah, that's not the case.
I don't know. I can't
like everybody else.
I can't defend whether it's true or not. I'm just simply saying there are people who do believe that once Obamacare became the law of the land, their health care got worse.
And these are the same people that think that if you get rid of the illegals, all of a sudden jobs are just going to automatically start paying people more.
Yeah, I don't get that one. I don't. Do you think MAGA believes that if you get rid of illegal immigrants, the jobs are going to increase? Well, yeah, I see why they're saying it. They believe that the immigrants are getting paid less than the value of the employment they're involved in because people can take advantage of them because they know they need to do something while they stand under the radar. If you get rid of them, folks, the employers will be forced to pay folks the actual wage of those jobs. So it is possible that if you get rid of the illegal immigrants, wages will go up. That is possible.
How is that going to happen if you get rid of the worker but don't do anything to the people who decide to pay that wage?
Well, first of all, you do have illegal immigrants that work for less than minimum wage. That's not legal.
No, I didn't say minimum. I didn't say minimum wage. I'm talking about the people who decide I'm going to hire these people and pay them this much. Because remember, like it's up to the employer what they're willing to pay.
Right.
So if you just get rid of the people that's willing to accept it, what's to incentivize them to be like, you know what? I need to pay more.
The law. If you got a bunch of illegals working for you and you're paying them under the table wages.
Wait,
hold on, let me answer.
You just said the
law. Let me answer you. You said what's going to incentivize an employer to pay regular folks if you get rid of the illegal immigrants? What's going to incentivize them to pay the Americans a better wage than they were paying the illegals? The law. And what I'm simply saying is if you're paying illegals, let's say, for instance, they're picking crop or whatever, and you're paying them less than the labor law requires, or you're not. I mean, and by the way, your pay is covered more than just what you get in. I mean, whether we're talking unemployment insurance, there's a lot of other things that you get that can also be viewed as compensation that illegal immigrants are not getting. So if we get rid of the illegal immigrants and the employer is only left with having to hire Americans, he has to pay them according to what the labor law regulations are. The illegal immigrant is going to take the lesser pay, and he's not going to report you because he don't want to get deported. The American is going to report your ass. So you got to pay him right or better.
You're saying that with the same administration that's been gutting all the oversight to make sure that you follow those laws.
That could be a problem. But I'm saying that this administration ain't gonna be around forever. Even if you got, even under the Obama or Biden administration, if you got less illegals in the country, it's going to force the folks that used to hire them to pay better wages to the people they replaced them with.
And has that been working now?
They ain't been getting rid of them until Trump came along.
It's been a whole year, Tim. Has the unemployment rate changed with all these apparent job openings because we got rid of all these illegals? Because remember, they said they've been doing their thing, getting rid of all these illegals. Has the workforce been supplemented with people doing these jobs?
I mean, that's a good question. Right now, it's hard to really tell because we don't know how many illegals Trump has gotten rid of. Plus, Trump has done so many other things to change the data in regards to our job market and our economy that has nothing to do with illegal immigrants, that it's going to be hard to really tell. So, like, for instance, his tariffs. I'm sure them tariffs are costing people jobs. He fired a bunch of federal employees. So he's done so many other things that it's hard to tell whether his deportation.
Just said that with all these illegals getting rid of, there should be job openings that these people that just got fired should be able to take, right?
Oh, I'm sure there are in some places. I'm certain there are. I mean, there are some farmers that, for the most part, they're saying all of their workers are gone. They're going to have to hire some Americans. That's the only way they're going to keep the farm going. So I'm sure there's some jobs opening in some places.
This administration said that these jobs that are being taken over by immigrants are black people jobs. So you saying that all these people that need jobs now, they need to go like go to these farms and do
I can try to defend anything, Trump. I can't defend racist shit. All that black job shit, I can't defend that. That's just some racist shit. I don't know what to do with that. I don't believe any job is a black job unless you believe that blacks should have menial jobs and whites should have managerial. I can't defend racist shit. I don't know what to say about that. But you're right. He did talk about black jobs and all of that crazy shit. I don't have an answer for that.
Yeah. And then as far as like that whole deal, yeah, they came to no agreement because, like I said, between Iran and us, they said that they came out today and said there's no agreement.
I'm looking on Fox right. It says as well as the release of frozen assets overseas, Iran is demanding control of the Strait of Hormuz, payments for war reparations, and a ceasefire across the region, including Lebanon. They're not going to get that from the Trump administration. So they want Israel to stop hitting their friends. They want control of the Strait of Hormuz, something they did not have before this. Does Trump start bombing again in a few days?
I don't know what Trump is going to do, but we both know he's not going to, like, whatever he does is not going to be a good thing for him.
And they want reparations for all the damage we caused. Hell, I can't get reparations as a red-blooded American. I know they ain't gonna give reparations. It ain't gonna happen. So I mean, what else is the goal? And I'll say this also. We've shown how much we can bomb them from the air, and that ain't did shit to open up the strait. So if there's one thing that's clear, the only way we're gonna get the Strait of Hormuz open is by putting boots on the ground. You're not gonna be able to open that up just from bombing from the air. So, I mean, is that the end result? Boots on the ground to control that?
The answer should have been not doing shit, not doing any shit at all.
Yeah.
But
too late for that.
If
now
you
we're
put
in
boots
it.
on the ground, if you try to establish a beachhead or to put boots on the ground and everything like that, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah. I don't see any way around it. I just don't. I mean, only way I can see maybe Trump could refuse to give them reparations, but tell them they can control the Strait of Hormuz for a few years until they make the money back, which still is a loss for us. If we leave this with them now controlling the strait that they didn't used to control, we've actually empowered them. So I don't see how we get back to where we were.
Not to mention lifting the sanctions so that not only you give them the Strait of Hormuz, but they can sell their oil to whoever they want. They're going to be making money hand over fist.
Is there any way out of this that will make President Trump look good? I'm asking you.
No. He looks easily manipulated. Just the fact that he went in there when not only our intelligence community said that they weren't an imminent threat, but intelligence community around the world, like our allies and things like that. The only people that said that was Trump himself and Bibi. Those are the only two people that said, "Hey, we need to go in there."
Yeah, but the crazy thing is there's a ton of MAGA, and there's even some independents and liberals that think what Trump did was the right thing to do. They're yelling death to America. They're claiming they're only months away from getting a nuclear bomb, and we don't want them to be a nuclear power. There's a lot of folks who believe what Trump did was the right thing to do. So,
okay, by that logic, that means we should have attacked North Korea a long time ago.
Some would probably agree with that too. I mean, North Korea's been a tyrant since they became a nuclear power.
Yeah, because like I said, Kim Jong-un, he's been doing more. Like, have you seen Iran doing test fires and things like that?
Well, no, but they're what Trump said, they're a state sponsor of terrorism. They're funding Hezbollah and giving them weapons. They're giving weapons to the Houthis. They were giving power to Hamas. I mean, they're not testing missiles like Kim Jong-un is doing, but they are giving assistance to folks who are actively killing people.
And you think North Korea is not giving assistance to our enemies?
I'm not aware before the Russian-Ukraine war broke out, because I know they are helping Russia. Before that broke out, I'm not aware of where Ukraine was helping anybody. I mean, North Korea was helping anybody. Who was North Korea helping that are enemies of the United States before that?
North Korea's been a menace, like a worse menace than any other country in the last 50 some odd.
Yeah, but they've been a menace for the most part by threats. They haven't actively been hurting anybody. Who is North Korea really injured?
And then not only that, remember Saudi Arabia was accused of being the supporters of terrorism too.
I think they still are.
And they're considered allies.
Yeah.
Or business partners at least.
Well, they're considered. Keep in mind the allies of America under the Trump administration are different than they were under previous administration because Biden met with Biden met with the Saudis and he wouldn't even shake the guy's hands because of the dismembering of Khashoggi. Trump shook the guy's hand and doing business deals with him. So our allies have changed under Trump.
Yeah, because Trump will deal with anybody that's willing to give him some money or give him an opportunity to make some money.
Yeah, I see Debbie says business partner is more like it. I mean, he's a businessman. We said we want a president to run America like a business. That's what he's doing.
And we chose one of the worst businessmen ever because he wouldn't have been nowhere near his level of value if we did not give him the presidency.
Well, he's running the country like a business. I'll tell you this: you get a CEO to run.
You're right. He's running the country like he ran Trump steaks, and we all know what happened to Trump steaks.
Well, I'm sure Trump made money off of his steaks. It's just the company didn't.
You remember when it comes to Trump, he gets people to invest in whatever little business plan that he has. He'll make every bit as much money as he can, and then when shit starts to go to the fan, he washes his hands of it, and everybody that invested into it loses out. And that's what's happening to us right now.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but to be honest with you, you get somebody to run a country like a business. That's kind of what happens. A lot of CEOs run companies into the ground, yet their personal wealth grows. I mean, a lot of the shit he is doing is what happens in business. How many businesses are not doing well or barely getting by, but the CEO keeps getting raises? The employees ain't getting paid shit. I mean, that's what happens in business. He's getting richer and richer, and for the most part, we're kind of like the employees, where we're lucky to get a pizza party every quarter. I mean, that's what he's doing.
And the people who said that, oh yeah, we should have somebody like that, they wish they could be at that level. They think that they're going to get to that one day. And what ends up happening to those people, they end up falling on their face 9 times out of 10 because they're never going to get to that level.
That is true. But I'm just simply saying, you can't complain that you can't say you want a president to run the country like a business and then complain when he do business shit. Businesses are all about a very few people making a bunch of money. The employees are treated as expendable assets. I mean, that's what us citizens are. I got
to respond to Stevie D and the Zeus guy talking about some Kamala would have been worse. We wouldn't have been in nowhere near much of this shit, and our value would have dropped more than 10% in 2 years.
So you think you do believe Kamala would have been a better president then?
A way better president. First off, she wouldn't have gutted all our oversight entities. We wouldn't be dealing with all these mergers that all of a sudden just came out of nowhere, and then we wouldn't have lost all these employees that we had. Not to mention, like we wouldn't have lost all these business trades that we had going into this.
Well, I still get no shortage of MAGA that are adamant that Kamala Harris is going to do and I got MAGA who believes Trump is not even doing a good job. And they still believe that Kamala Harris would have been worse. Alex Jones, for instance, thinks that Trump is so bad we need to invoke the 25th Amendment. And he's still saying Kamala Harris would have been worse. So
because like I said, they'll believe that any Democrat that we get put in, they think that they're going to be like the absolute worst. They're just going to want to give everything away for free and not want to do shit. But it's like they would have, like, under Biden, like as he was leaving, things were getting better. Right or wrong, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, they may be getting better under Trump when he leaves. You never know. Things may turn around under President Trump.
Really, Tim?
Right now, hold on.
Outside of C...
Go ahead.
All right, outside of C-19, 9/11, the housing market crash, and things like that, when have you seen America get so down so fast?
Well, we are at war, James. I mean, if we were not at war right now, gas would probably be damn near $2 a gallon. He was doing well in that area.
Tim, this is the same man that made a deal with OPEC, to say stop giving us oil or the price is going to get down.
That is true.
He's not worried. He's not in it to make things cheaper for people. If he was, he would have done that during C9. He would have let that shit go to where it was at C19. He's not in it to help us.
Well,
he's in it to help him and people just like him.
How do you think him declaring war on Iran helps him out personally?
I guarantee he figured that he'd be able to get access to those resources if he was able to get that regime change that he thought he was going to get. He thought he was going to get somebody that was America friendly, and they were just going to hand over control of their oil.
That may still happen. I mean, I suppose if you just keep killing the leadership in Iran, eventually you'll get somebody that will just say, look, if you can't beat him, play ball with him, I can be the leader of the country. As long as I appease Trump, he'll let me be the leader of my own country, and I'll get rich. I mean, eventually.
You know what you're going to do when you keep attacking somebody like that? You're going to make more people that want to hate you and want revenge against you. That's what's going to end up happening.
Yeah, but that'll be a civil issue.
Against us is a part of Al Qaeda, one of the mother T groups. They just upset because you killed their family members.
I don't disagree with that, but what I'm saying is you could delay things long enough to make Trump go out looking good. Because if you kill enough of the heads of state in Iran to the point where you finally find one that says fuck it, as opposed to risking being killed, this Trump guy, this American guy said he'll let me run the country, he'll make me a rich man, and they'll stop the bombing. So okay, yeah, my citizens may not like me. There may end up being a civil unrest in Iran, but that would take a while.
We tried that before, and what ended up happening to the guy that we had in Iran the first time.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is by the time that happens, though,
got rid of him.
Yeah, but by the time that happens, though, Trump's term will be over, and he will have that shit will happen under the next president.
So basically, you're saying kick the can down the road?
Yeah,
like they always do.
Yeah, I'm just simply saying if you're the president, if I'm advising the president, I would let him know, sir, you got yourself in quite a conundrum. But there is a way to make you go out with dignity. It may be unfortunate for your predecessor or whatever, but it'll make you look okay. Thank you for that, Stevie D and Travelman. It'll make you look all right. So that he gave a hat mustache.
Tim,
go ahead.
You just proved another thing about MAGA. They're all about theatrics.
I don't think that
they don't want to actually.
I don't think that's just MAGA.
Superficial issues.
I don't think that just relates to MAGA. I think any president that fucks up might get an advisor that tells him what I just said. Look, I can get you out of this. Unfortunately, the next guy's gonna have to deal with it. He may blame it on you, but I'm helping you leave right now with dignity. I think a lot of presidents have kicked shit down the road. Kick the can down the road like that.
And that's why we're in the situation where we're in right now, when we're insolvent.
That could be
because they're kicking shit down the road.
I'm not denying
instead
that.
of actually doing shit for the people.
I'm not denying that. We know what kind of country we run. That's what we deal with. I got to move it on, though, James. Thank you for coming through.
No problem, Tim.
Appreciate it. And he's right. He is absolutely right that kicking the can down the road, eventually you reach the end of the road and you got to deal with what's in the can. But by then, that president is long gone, is what I'm saying. I mean, it might be, just like I said, running the country like a business. You get a CEO in there. Thank you, Travelman. Appreciate the money gun. By the way, tap the screen, folks. I haven't asked that. Get the likes up to about 40,000. If you're watching us on YouTube, smash that like button. Helps out the algorithm, brings in more MAGA. This is kind of an open forum. I wasn't going to go live tonight, but I was talking to Straight Talk and got incentivized to go live myself. But we're going to run the program the way we always do. We're MAGA friendly. Always have been MAGA friendly. Always will remain MAGA friendly. You can say whatever you want on this program. Our comments go left of Mom Donnie that I'm having dinner with Q. We don't block, ban, or censor anybody on this program. That's how we do it. And for you folks helping your boy out with the TikTok caps and hat mustache, shout out to you. Thanks for supporting the program. Looking in the comments, maybe this is the end. Every administration has kicked the can for a long time. This ain't the end. This ain't nowhere near the end. You're going to have to get a commander-in-chief in there or better yet, a government in there that is willing to make amends with our allies and shit like that. It ain't the end, but it could be a new beginning. And when I say it's not the end, it's a new beginning, I mean, remember, the British used to have an empire. It didn't end the country as they knew it. It just, now they're just one of many. This may be the end of us being at the top of the food chain. That could be possible. That could very much be possible. If they start, if all the NATO member nations start, basically no longer dependent on the United States for defense, straying away from the US dollar, treating us like equals as opposed to a superior, it ain't the end, but we could be in a much weaker state because President Trump, I've said this many times, he has pissed off way too many people. All of them folks are not just going to forgive him. You've seen that happen when he attacked Iran. People didn't just come running to help him out like what they may have done in years past. I mean, they're citing a few things. First of all, you didn't tell us you were going to attack Iran and get a consensus from us, but now you want us to help you out now that you're in it and over your head. You treated us like shit before you attacked Iran, so it ain't like we wanted to help you to begin with. And then, of course, you threatened to take a NATO member nation while treating us like shit, that being Greenland. There just was not a lot of incentive to run to his rescue. I mean, I think before we continue on, I've played this before, and I absolutely think it applies now.
For that. This is the
coming from
jacket that has
what is his name? Steve Harvey. Oh, that's Steve Harvey. What is his name? Stephen A. Smith made a statement about a week or two ago.
Tariff wars, because I wanted to see how it worked.
I'm trying to see if I can.
Up 2.23 trillion. This is an issue. Food is an issue. Hey.
No, I'm not going to find it. But what he basically said is he was doing an imitation of Trump, and he said, "This is me doing Trump," and he said something to the nature of, "You ain't shit. You're never going to be shit, but I need your help." And it just don't work like that. These are world leaders. These people got millions of folks that look up to them. If they all let Trump talk to them like shit in front of their own constituents, voters, and countrymen, and then they go run into his aid, then they look like pussies to their own people. And if you look in the comment section of Starmer or the prime minister of these countries, look in the comment section of some of their videos. That's exactly what you see is their own citizens calling them pussies. They're already doing it. MAGA is under deep mind control. Damn. He says, deluded, says Matthew. You believe MAGA's under deep mind control. I don't know if I would totally say that because in just the last week, and this has been a really bad week for Trump by any stretch of the imagination. The week has been so bad for Trump that folks are suggesting that Melania brought up Epstein to divert people from the war. Now, normally you want to divert people from Epstein. There are folks who suggest that Melania Trump went on there talking about Epstein to divert people from how bad the war is going. But this has been a really bad week for President Trump. In addition to Iran proving that we don't have to open up the strait, you can threaten to end our civilization and we ain't gonna flinch. And seeing most of the top conservative commentators all over the internet in one single week essentially say Trump needs to step down. I mean, I mentioned Alex Jones saying they need to invoke the 25th Amendment and get rid of him. Candace Owens made it sound like he was just like Biden, like demented and something's wrong with grandpa, I think she said, or something like that. You heard Megyn Kelly suggesting, why can't we just have him act like a regular fucking person and indicating that she was tired of all this, he's playing chess and all that. She was like, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. And then, of course, Tucker Carlson is also sounding like Alex Jones, saying we need this guy to be gone. In 1 week, all of that happened in a week for Trump. Not a good week by any stretch of the imagination, no matter how you look at it. Trump has not had a good week at all. Travelman, good evening. Welcome to the program. Last several months has been a huge loss for Trump. Yeah, but this has been particularly bad. This has been particularly bad. In fact, I don't think there's any, because look, you could spin the tariffs in Trump's favor. There's things you could spin, and I've done some of it. I've given Trump credit for something. This last week, there's nothing in there you can spin in Trump's favor. Travelman, good evening.
What's up, Tim?
Not much at all. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked my last guest. Is there any way at all that we can end this conflict in a manner that comes out where Trump looks like he's done good by the United States and accomplished it? Is there any way for him to come out of this looking good?
No.
Can we get any kind of win in this whatsoever?
It's going to be difficult because they fucked up from the beginning.
Fucked up how? Fucked up in what way?
So they basically gave Iran more power and leverage than what they had before. And so now basically he started, for lack of a better word, he basically started a shit show, you know? And it based on his actions, first of all, he got the United States jacked up with gas and, you know, everything is jacked up because of that. And then he got the European countries, they're jacked up because they get a lot of oil and stuff. And then to top it off, he got the freaking Middle East. At one point, they were ablaze, but now their infrastructure is damaged. And I think it's one of them, I forget which country it is, might have been Qatar or one of them, UAE. One of their, I think it's an LNG facility. And they say it's going to take 3 to 5 years to get that thing repaired and get it back to full.
Is there any way for him to convince the world that this is Iran's fault and not ours? I mean, because those places you're talking about that have been bombed, they were bombed by Iran. So is there any way to convince the world that your higher gas prices are due to Iran? They're the ones that close the strait. They're the ones that are bombing all of the refineries and things like that. Is there a way to spin it in that manner?
Nah. Because people, you know what? Trump is of the firm belief, and his minions kind of follow that. But he's of the firm belief that if you keep repeating something, eventually it'll get traction and people will start believing it. And so that's kind of where you're at now.
That has worked. That has worked in the past. That's why.
Yeah, that has worked in the past. But in the past, we didn't have 5 other countries damaged because of something that he did. You know, something that was done basically as convenience. You know, we didn't have to do what we did. There's a reason the other presidents didn't go in there.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, the belief is that the other presidents didn't have the kahunas and Trump did what needed to be done. But before you respond to that, Dark Side Rider says he is right. Trump ain't shit. And he says also in choke mouth commerce, talking about straight talk commerce ain't shit either. And he's never going to be shit, living in denial. He obviously does not like straight talk. I don't know. I mean, Trump ain't shit is kind of harsh. Go ahead.
So just let me tell you some of the things that they've done. And they did it. And before we went in there, Iran told the people, if you attack us, then based on what you do, we're going to attack the other Gulf states. They told them that. Yeah. So this is the thing with Trump and the Republicans. Like the Democrats tell them, if you send that bill up here, it's DOA, the way in the format that is in now. They'll pass the damn bill anyway and send it up there. And then they wonder, oh, well, they didn't vote on it or it didn't pass. They told you before you sent it up there. But if you do something and somebody tell you what the result is going to be before you do it, and it's negative, and you do it anyway, that's on you.
That's on you, yeah.
You know, so they told them. So right now, who was that? Qatar. 17% of their LNG capacity is offline.
Wow.
Repairs 3 to 5 years. They losing $20 billion a year.
Yeah, what did they get hit with? I mean, Iran fucked it up that much?
They hit them a couple of times with drones and missiles and stuff. Kuwait got fires at 2 refineries. Okay, so they having problems. Saudi Arabia, the East-West pipeline, which is the main pipeline that they have to use when the Strait of Hormuz was locked down, they hit that. So now they having problems with that. See, this is all crazy shit.
This is also
they got a fire at 2 refineries. They got a fire at a refinery, and they got a fire at a gas field. This is what our attack on Iran. This is the result of it.
This is also a lot of shit that they're not.
Now, how's the price of a barrel of oil going to go down based on this?
Well,
okay.
What about what we have here? What about what we have here? Because we have our own reserves. Trump tries to make it sound like we're energy independent. Do we have enough to first of all, can our oil stuff be refined and used? But do we have enough here where we don't have to depend on this shit?
But see, there's a reason why we still import oil, because it's certain types of oil that we have to bring in to refine because of the use that we have for it. We don't have that type of oil.
What about Venezuela? We got control of Venezuela. What about they shit?
Venezuela, their infrastructure is all jacked up. That's going to take some time to get that online. I mean, they're producing some barrels. I don't know the exact amount, but they've been under ever since Chavez nationalized the oil fields down there. And all the company left, I think, except one. So all that shit is old.
So in other words, we fucked for a minute then.
Yeah, we fucked for a minute. Yeah, cause you do have and I think the Venezuelan is the heavy crude, and then you got the other heavy crude, which is more dirty, coming out of Alberta, which is going down to the pipeline down here. So yeah, there's a reason, because they bring the different 2 types of oil and they blend them together and they refine them. So that's why everybody says, "Oh, we're energy independent."
Well, how about this? We're talking about the economy. We're talking about money, but let's get to the serious meat and potatoes, which is we didn't want a dangerous nation to become a nuclear power. In my comments, for instance, Mike is saying that Iran would eventually have nuclear weapons, especially if we have a few more Democrat presidents. So what about the possibility of them becoming a nuclear? Because that was the main goal, was to stop them from becoming a nuclear nation.
Well, then let me see. Don't North Korea have a nuke?
Yes.
Didn't Trump go over there and walk across the demarcation line and all that good shit?
Yes, he did.
And he actually stopped some major exercises that we do every year with the South Koreans.
Yeah.
Called RIMPAC.
Yeah.
He messed around with some of that. Don't they have a nuke?
That is true. Yeah.
Don't Pakistan have a nuke?
Yes.
Don't India have a nuke?
Yep, and they're not friends with Pakistan, but yes.
And there's also something called mutual destruction.
Yes.
Which is pretty much keeps everybody from blowing each other.
Well, but here's the difference. And we can
hold on, Tim. Before you go any further, if I remember correctly, the Democratic president that put together the JCPOA that Iran was adhering to, as per the IEA or IAE or whatever the hell they're called, they were adhering to that. They had all kind of cameras up there. They had inspectors coming in at all times checking it, and their uranium was capped at 3.6 or 7%, and they was adhering to all of that.
I'm hearing from President Trump that was a dumb deal that Iran. And by the way, on my YouTube viewers, I need you guys to smash that like button. It helps out the algorithm. I'm asking you guys to do that. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button. They say that the deal that Obama put in place, not only was it a dumb deal giving Iran piles of cash, they suggest that Iran was not following that. Travelman.
Who said that?
Our current commander-in-chief.
He's a pathological liar, though. He can say something, but then go and look at what the IAE said. And Obama wasn't the only one that put that deal together. It was also 11 other countries, including China, Russia, the UK, France, Those were also the signatories. And don't forget, when Trump came in and pulled us out of the JCPOA, Iran continued to abide by it, I think, until we took out Soleimani. And then once we took him out, that's when they said, okay, that's it, we're done. And they came out of, and that's when they started enriching the uranium up to the 60% of where they're at now.
So then let me ask you, let's get you this way. Now that we had a deal with Iran and Trump came along and broke it, what are the chances they would enter a deal with us again?
Not only that, the last two times they were negotiating, I think the first time Israel, the I country, dropped some bombs on them. And then this time they had apparently the guy from Oman, the mediator, was saying that Iran had offered a better deal than the JCPOA. They had offered to take their uranium enrichment down to less than 2% or something like that. And he was over there talking good about the deal. And the next day, Trump them decided, hey, let's go in there and take them out. And so they did that. So why should they trust the U.S.?
Yeah. I've said that many times. Once Trump came along and broke the deal they had with Obama, even if you thought it was a dumb deal, America gave its word. So if Trump can come along and just say, I'm sorry, our last president made a dumb deal with you, so we're not going to honor it, what's stopping the next president from saying the same thing about any deal Trump makes with him now? So in my opinion, Iran has no incentive to make a deal with the United States because Trump has proven our word is only as good as the current commander-in-chief. The next guy might just say it's a dumb deal, no matter what deal we make with you, sir. Your next president might do exactly what you just did.
Especially if it hasn't been passed through Congress. But now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't our last treaty expire? So right now, I don't think we have any treaties, any new treaties with Russia. And then go back and take a look at how many treaties this dude pulled the U.S. out of. It's quite a few. It's quite a few. Some of them were replaced, but the vast majority of treaties that he pulled the U.S. out of was never replaced. You know, so he JCPOA, he pulled out that, what, in 2018? I think it was 2018. And we've been in there now. He's been in there since January 2025, and nothing was done. It's the same thing. They've had control of the House, the Senate, and the Supreme Court since January of 2025. Have you seen any inkling of an immigration bill? No.
You don't need one. He's doing everything by executive order, so you're not going to see a lot of bills from Trump at all. Congress has pretty much decided to step aside and just say he's worthy enough to run our great nation by executive order, and that's what he's doing. He's just now none of that stuff is codified, so the next guy can come along and throw it all out.
And exactly, because Congress have been denutted. They're eunuchs, so they have pretty much capitulated to Trump. And now this is why they're freaking out, because they're worried to death about November. They worried to death about November. They really worried. They pretty much know that they're probably going to lose the House, but they're really worried because if they lose the Senate, that affects the Supreme Court.
Well, I mean, okay, if Alito and Thomas bow out before Trump leaves and allows Trump to pick two other folks, the Supreme Court's still going to stay heavily favored to the right for quite a while. I mean, even if the Democrats do win.
If they don't leave before November, then the Democrats are being, if the Democrats get control of the Senate, they're going to do the same thing to the Republicans that Mitch McConnell did to them. Well, they're not going to let anybody get in that seat.
Well, here's something that is in favor for the Republican Party. Even if they get their asses kicked in the midterms, let's say they lose the House and the Senate, they still have 2 months to rule before the winning Democrat Party gets sworn in and inaugurated in January. So that would be the time to get Alito and Clarence Thomas to step down to prevent the Democrats from putting some. You could get them to step down in those 2 months between November and January, and then Trump could put in two younger replacements, not to mention all kinds of other crazy-ass laws they may pass in that time, but you can do a lot in 2 months.
Yeah, but basically there'll be a lame duck. He can probably get it done, but I would.
They're not a lame duck. He's not a lame duck until January. So if he loses in November, he still has 2 months, knowing he's about to be a lame duck, to start getting prepared for what the Democrats about to do.
Yeah, but once again, though, I don't know how they would do it, but I'm quite sure they'll pull out every kind of Robert's Rules of Order, legislative stuff they could pull out to try to delay it as much as possible. They could slow down through the investigation that they have to go through. Because one thing about politicians now, they might do stupid shit sometimes, but they're not dumb. And they do take a look at what happened previously. And so they know that, just like we talking, they know for a fact, if they take over the House and the Senate, there's a possibility that this dude could try to, one of the judges might leave and he'd be able to put somebody in there. They're looking at that, and I'm quite sure they probably got some kind of plan. Whether it work or not, I don't know.
I know Clarence Thomas would step down. If Trump asked Clarence Thomas to step down, Clarence Thomas likes gifts. We know that. I think Clarence, I think him and Alito was like 75, 76 years old. I think they would do it for the sake of the country.
He'd probably be out the door.
Yeah. Yeah, the RV. And Trump would have no problem getting Elon Musk to send an RV to his crib. So
exactly. Hey Tim, before you go, before I roll out, I got a question. So they're over there in Pakistan doing the
Islamabad, whatever it's called. Yeah.
Okay. 25% of foreign service officers have left the State Department. 18%. Wow. Yep. 18% of State Department employees have left. The Iran desk, they shut it down and folded it into the desk with the Iraqis. So that's one group of people handling that. So it's been pretty much wiped out. So basically, we have a real estate developer, and we have another guy over there that owns a building that the address is 666. And they're the ones negotiating for us. Where are the professionals? And when I say professionals, I'm talking about the people with the institutional knowledge. Where are they? And is what we're saying the reason that Russia and China and now Iran has basically been beating the hell out of us because we have amateurs trying to do foreign policy and they have professionals.
I mean, that's what we hired. I mean, we put in a president that wants loyalty over resume. I mean, what's on your resume matters less than whether or not you'll be loyal to him. So, I mean, where the experts are, I mean, that ain't what he sought. He sought out folks that would be loyal. Because Kristi Noem didn't have the experience to do what she was doing. It was just all about whether you'll be loyal or not. So that's the trade-off.
Since you bring that up, so I live outside of DC, and I have most of my buddies are all retired military. One of them, travel with Cheney and stuff, and he's high up. Well, he was high up at FEMA, right?
Okay.
And he was telling me today how many people they had lost. He said basically the whole upper level of FEMA was wiped out. He said all the institutional knowledge left. Matter of fact, he said the guy that replaced him, when they had a meeting, when he got out of the meeting, he was texting the guys on the team, asking them how to word an email.
Now, Trump made it clear he wanted to get rid of FEMA, so that should not surprise you.
Yeah. So this is a guy this is a national project that he's working. I'm talking about $40-50 million projects and stuff. And he don't know what the hell he's doing. He replaced my buddy. I got another buddy who's high up at the Pentagon. So he goes into Patron Pete office area at least once a week. And he was telling me about how they had basically wiped out the top level of the Pentagon. And that this guy, nobody at the Pentagon besides MAGA has any respect for this dude. None. And if you notice, He never says anything. He messed with all the other service branches, the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, you know. He never mentions the Marine Corps. He does not fuck
what
with
is
the
what
Marine
branch is
Corps.
HECSF? What branch is HECSF?
HECSF was Army National Guard. You know,
I don't know why that is. I gotta move it on, but I don't know why he's favoring the Marines like that. There has to be some reason behind that. So
you don't want to fuck with the Marines. Okay, and then one other thing. Also, you know, I used to work at DHS, so I talk to them all the time too. And they basically CBP. So they all of them went through basically the same thing. You got serious brain drain. So what CBP did was they moved some people around of color, and then they promoted people. So you got GS-15 is the highest, right? And then from GS-15, you go to what they call SES, which is Senior Executive Service. So they moved those people around, and they promoted 6 people. They promoted 4 to SES, and then they promoted 2 white women to something else. All 6 people they promoted, 4 of them were white men and 2 white women.
Well, that's a whole different conversation. I've heard a lot of that. Travelman, I gotta go.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Take care now.
Appreciate it. You know, that's one thing I will say, because, you know, folks are bringing up the racial element. I really do not know of anybody, like when it comes to people of color, you just do not see any of them getting a lot of recognition from the Trump administration. I mean, I guess we could talk about Ben Carson from his first administration, but this second administration, usually when you see people of color, they're getting fired. I mean, it is a lot of white guys, as my last caller was suggesting. If maybe you see something in that, maybe you read more into it than other people, but it does look like he prefer. I mean, look, maybe he's like Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk only really saw a lot of talent in white guys. Maybe Trump is in that same realm. And shout out to the black man that just went up to the moon in Artemis. He had I seen all over the social media pages, folks suggesting that Charlie Kirk hasn't said anything negative about a black astronaut, and that's shocking. Like, which we obviously know why he hasn't said anything negative about the guy. But yeah, it just, you know, the Trump administration, they do seem to find talent in just white guys. You don't see them promoting any people of color. And like right now, with this immigrant, I think some of you folks may have seen the Haitian immigrant that was allegedly here illegally, killing what apparently is his lover, spouse, girlfriend, or something with a hammer. So it's a domestic violence issue, but they're posting it under Biden. And now he don't kill the woman with a hammer. Therefore, Biden has blood on his hands. I'm just going to say, go figure. I don't like. Here's one thing I don't like, and I'm totally a fan of getting people out of the country that should not be here legally. I don't want illegal immigrants in the country that are violent. I'm with deporting them. What I'm not with is just painting them all as bad people. I mean, like, anytime you hear the right talking about an illegal immigrant, the story is negative. There are illegal immigrants that have went in burning houses and dragged somebody out. You can't find one that saved somebody's cat and pulled it out of a tree. All your illegal immigrant stories are negative. We don't have a guy who does not have proper documentation that has finished a complete term in the military and maybe he done some great things for the country. You can't find a single positive story. Like, all of them are negative. That don't look right to me. I'm just simply saying that when you're deliberately looking for stories to demonize groups of people. There's 18 million of these folks in here, and every single story is negative. Really? Looking in the comments, the only due process I believe is coming into the country legally. The only due process. Well, here's the problem with that, though, and I've said this many times before, is that the Trump administration suggests, and by the way, tap the screen. I need you guys also, if you're watching on Instagram, TikTok, or better yet, Substack, feel free to follow the program. If you're watching this currently live on YouTube, smash that like button, subscribe to the program. We're here most weekdays. We don't block, ban, or censor anybody. It's uncensored dialogue. We're MAGA friendly. We allow folks on both sides of the aisle, or better yet, all sides of the aisle to speak. We don't limit your time because you got a difference of opinion. Our comments go left of Bernie Sanders, so I'm having dinner with Q. You can be critical of anybody on the program. I'm included in that. So smash the like button, if you will, and subscribe, if you will, on YouTube. But, you know, the MAGA side of the aisle, the current administration, we're not against illegal immigrants. We just want you to come in the right way. You hear that all the time. That ain't true. That is flat out false. That they're not against immigrants and they're okay as long as you come in the right way. There are so many folks that have been deported and referred to as an illegal immigrant that was not here illegally until Trump became president and changed the law, and now they suddenly became illegal. So the person was doing everything the right ass, everything that MAGA asked. Come in the right way, go through the process like everybody else. They were doing all of that. Trump became president and literally stopped them in the middle of the process, turned them into an illegal immigrant, and then either hunted them down and deported them or picked them right out of the courtrooms. So the way things are going, you do look like you are anti-immigrant. If you're deporting somebody from a courtroom, illegal immigrants ain't hanging around fucking courtrooms. If you're deporting people from court, you're obviously taking and kicking out legal people who were here doing it the right way. Fact is, if you want to immigrate to a country, it's obviously not an overnight process. It's costly. It's involved. I say this all the time because I'm somebody who did it myself when I migrated to Australia. I had to get fingerprints from Cook County in Chicago. Well, first, I had to get them from the city of Chicago, Cook County, state of Illinois, the FBI, and then I had to also send my fingerprints to Interpol to make sure I had no international warrants. What else did they do? They made me go through medical exams and shit like that, take blood tests, make sure you weren't bringing in any diseases. They went through a lot of shit, not to mention all the money it cost me, all of that stuff. And I was going through the process, doing it the legal way. It takes months. Sometimes it can take years to get residency in the country. What Trump did is stop them in the middle of the process and just said, well, your country no longer can come here anymore. So it doesn't matter how many tests you've done or how many things you've cleared or how much money you've paid at this point. We no longer are going to give you the opportunity to stay here. You got to go home. So a lot of folks who were here legally going through the process suddenly got deported. It was folks like that. So the idea that they're telling you, we don't mind immigrants coming the legal way, that's not true. Trump banned virtually all third world countries from coming here. There's a lot of people that were here from third world countries that were in the process of trying to get residency, and now they're gone. So the whole thing about we don't know, he has made illegal immigrants from scratch. He's made a lot of people become illegal immigrants. That's why he sent ICE to Minnesota, because they were talking about Somalis were committing fraud. Well, I don't want them in my country. They're just garbage. He didn't say nothing about coming legally. He said, I want them all out. Well, nothing about becoming, just like with the Haitians allegedly eating cats and dogs, and them folks in Springfield, Ohio are here legally. They're under work visas and shit like that. He wants them gone. Same thing with the Cubans. The law allowed the Cubans to stay here if they could get to USO. He ended that. So the folks who had came here under Biden and were legal and going through the process to get their residency, they're gone now. He made a lot of legal immigrants illegal. He made illegal immigrants from scratch. So the idea that it's not about illegal immigrants, you want these people gone. You want people here who are here legally to get out of the country as well. Going back to the box, we'll go to, I think it says Dark Shadow or something like that. Mr. Wise Guy, people say that all the time. What do they say? By the time the American people realize what has happened, it will be too late. What has happened, though? Dark, good evening. Dark Shadow. What does that say? Dark Side or Dark Shadow?
It's a Dark Shade 43. I mixed the 4 and the 3 with the A and the E, I believe.
Fair enough. So what brings you to the program? What am I getting wrong?
Oh, no, you're not getting anything wrong. I like your content.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I pretty much very libertarian, I I try to listen to all sides.
Who'd you vote for? Who'd you vote for in 2024?
I actually didn't vote at all.
2020.
Nope.
2016.
Yep. I have not voted. I was underage when I was in 2016.
But you haven't voted in any national election since you became an adult.
No. I mean, if I'm being honest, like I think a lot of that stuff is kind of it's pretty much a waste of time because, you know, lobbyists pretty much control everything.
Well, I don't want you to waste our time. So what brought you up here then? If you're not voting, you know, people say if you don't vote, you really can't complain.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I just really haven't had the time to actually go do it. I usually was always working or
you know the election is coming up years ahead of time. What do you mean you don't have the time? You didn't plan for this? You know it's coming up.
Yeah, you're true on that.
Do you believe it's your civic duty to vote?
Yes.
Are you happy with the current president we have now?
Yes and no. There's a couple things I don't really like that he's doing, like a lot with, you know, there's the whole immigration thing of him, like you were saying earlier, just deporting people that came here legally and then just got rid of them right out of the process of trying to come into the country illegally.
Right.
But there's also a couple of things I do like. I liked how he did when he signed the bipartisan bill of the Second Chance Act. I really like that.
Explain what you like about the Second Chance Act. The reason why I'm asking you this is because there's not a lot about Trump that's bipartisan. So that's an eye raiser. You said I like the fact that he did something that's bipartisan. It ain't a lot of bipartisan in Trump's past. So explain what you like about the Second Chance Act.
From what essentially it's to help convicts that are coming out of prison that were imprisoned for nonviolent crimes, like say like drugs and stuff like that, to essentially get a way for them to get their record expunged so they can actually become productive members of society.
That's all Trump 1.0. That's all Trump 1.0. What about this second term?
Anything that I've liked that he's done now? Honestly, I really can't think of anything.
Wow. If you had to vote, I know you didn't vote. If you had to vote and you could go back in a DeLorean in 2024, you had to pick between Kamala Harris and Trump, and you had to make a decision between one of those two being a libertarian, who would you vote for?
If they were up on the board, I'd actually want what's his name?
I only gave you two names. You don't get to add nobody to this.
That's true. That's true. Damn. I would say it would have to be Trump because I wouldn't want Kamala in there.
What? Okay, now I asked you Trump 2.0, and you made it clear he hasn't done anything you can think of at all that you like. But yet you still would pick. Give me Kamala Harris. What about Kamala Harris? Are you really turned off by to the point where you would still pick the guy that's been in office almost 2 years and hasn't done anything at all that you like? Give me what's so bad about Kamala, in your opinion?
I did not like how back in the day she was was she Attorney General of California, if I remember correctly?
You going back that far? Okay, what about her back then?
She was essentially
I'm gonna ask you a question that's off the wall, but it's based on your answers. Do you have a criminal history?
I mean, when I was younger, but I got expunged.
Felonies?
No, it was mostly on misdemeanors.
Okay. Kamala Harris back when she was an attorney general. Keep going.
I didn't like how she was pretty much arresting anyone for what was it? I believe it was like pretty much putting the book on people that were for like marijuana charges.
You do realize that you do realize as a district attorney or as an attorney general, she's just enforcing the law. those strict laws you're talking about, that comes from the government. You don't normally hear an attorney general being accused of, bad shit. That's the law. That comes from your legislators. That didn't come from her. She's just a prosecutor.
That's true.
Unless you want her to not follow the law. Because you do hear judges sometimes letting folks out, and then they go on to reoffend, and they go to this must have been a liberal judge or a judge that was soft on crime. You don't want her to be that way, do you?
No, definitely not. Especially if they weren't only doing charges that were only marijuana specific. Like if they had like other charges as well with that, then definitely not. No.
Okay, now Kamala Harris has been both a senator since she was attorney general and district attorney. She's been since a senator and VP. Give me something else that would make you suggest that you would still pick Trump while admitting Trump hasn't done anything you like at all in his second term, but you're picking him over Kamala. Give me what else about Kamala turns you off? Take your time. In the comments, hang on, while you're taking your time on it, Dark Side Rider says, Tim, now is the time to tap in the Jedi mind trick and try to lure him out. Is there anything that you can get from this guy? I'm trying to do that now, Dark Side. I'm working on it. Go ahead, Tara. Go ahead. Anything, give me Kamala Harris. What is leading you to still pick Trump despite admitting he's done nothing you can think of that you like, to pick him over Kamala Harris? Go. There's got to be something wrong with her, significantly wrong with her. Did I lose you?
No, I can't think of it at the top of my head now.
So why are you picking her? Why are you picking Trump then?
Well, it's mostly what he initially was promising back in 2016 was I think it was just pretty much a whole big roller coaster of trolling, making people see what the other side really is. In regards of like political ideologies that's been going on in the country.
So you're picking him based on his ability to troll online?
Essentially to get a rise out of everybody, yeah.
You do realize that is dividing the country, right? You think that you favor dividing us up as a nation?
No, because I think that from what we see online, it's not the whole country that's being divided. It's only these two groups that have been going at each other's necks for since 2016, which is the far left and the far right. They've been fighting each other constantly, doing all these protests, and it's mostly the moderate people looking at both sides and being like, "What the hell is going on?"
Okay, while I disagree strongly that it's only the far left and the far right, I would even if what you're saying is true, that's still going to be tens of millions of people, Dark Side. I mean, that's millions of people still. Even if it's the far left and the far right represents millions of Americans.
No, you're not wrong. But I mean, the country's like what, over, I think what, 300?
Yeah, it's about it's 150 some odd million people that vote. Let me ask it to you this way. How does the country benefit by dividing folks up?
I think it shows people what both sides really are like and what their actually ideologies are, and actually makes them, I wouldn't say coherent, but actually like shows them like what their political beliefs are. And we benefit from that? I think so, because if someone on the far right is like saying some crazy outlandish shit, the moderate conservatives be like, okay, well, I don't really agree with that. Maybe I agree with the other side on issues, and then maybe people on the far left showing the moderate liberals how crazy they are, they start switching their opinions over to the other side and then try to find some common ground in between that.
What about the more common things we seek to improve, like the economy? I mean, you're talking about revealing the antics of the far right or the far left. What about the price of gas or kitchen table issues? Like, can I afford to pay for my groceries? Wouldn't you want to focus on that more than, trolling and dividing the far left and far right up?
Oh, for sure. I don't know what exactly all of President Trump's executive orders have all been. So I wouldn't really know what exactly he's done so far in that regard.
But you do know you would pick him over Kamala Harris if you had to.
I'll be honest, yes, I would.
Okay. All right.
If I can give you a better concrete reason, I'd be able to tell you, but I can't think of it at the top of my head at this point.
I got some folks in my audience. You can let me know if they're right or wrong in this. I got folks in my audience suggesting that part of the reason may be that she's a female or she's a person of color. What say you?
I could see that as a reason for people not voting for her.
Yeah, we're talking about you. We're not talking about people. We're talking about you.
Oh, me. Oh, I don't care what color you are or what
gender.
your political ideologies are. If I just don't feel like a right vibe with you, I'm not going to mess with you.
Okay. So you don't mind having a woman as commander in chief?
No, I don't.
You don't mind?
I think it'd be pretty cool. Like when Japan did when they elected I forget her name, but when they elected her as prime minister, I thought that was pretty cool.
All right. Like I said, I was just asking because I'm when you said you didn't see anything Trump has done so far that you can think of that you like, yet you would still pick him over Kamala Harris. And then I asked you, well, what did Kamala Harris do to turn you off? You didn't seem to have anything really to throw out. I mean, she should, if you're going to say that much negative about Trump, but you would still pick him over Kamala Harris, you should have all sorts of bad shit you can throw out there that Kamala Harris did to make her even worse than a guy you haven't seen anything you like out of it. You didn't really have much on Kamala Harris. So that's why it seemed kind of weird there.
No, that's understandable. I mean, I know in the past I had a bunch of reasons, but I just can't think of them at the moment. I would have to redo my.
Do you think do you think the economy would be in the state it's in now if we had Kamala Harris, or worse?
I think it honestly would have been the same because of the past administration. Because I believe the problems of the past administration always fall onto the next one. So like in 2016, the economy was doing great, and then it went into Biden. The economy was still doing great, and then when the economy was starting to go down, and then it switched to Trump.
The economy was doing. You said the economy was doing. In 2016, right after Obama, Trump took over. Biden didn't become president until 4 years later. So you're saying 2016 and Biden didn't become president until January 2021 is when he was sworn in. So you're holding Biden accountable for something that happened 5 years before he became president.
I'm not necessarily what I'm saying is that the past administrations are what make the next generations.
Okay. So in other words, Trump's first. Okay, so in other words, because Trump had a good economy during his first term, what you're saying is that was Obama's economy that he was doing well with.
Yeah, I would say so.
So has he ever done anything other than the act that did not charge people with marijuana? What else has he done that you favor, even in his first term?
Let's see, because I know in his first term he talked about, I see in the back there, no wars. That's what I really liked about. Realizing that now, we're in a war right now.
Do you think we'd be in a war if Kamala Harris was at the helm?
Honestly, wouldn't know. I probably think we probably wouldn't.
So we probably wouldn't be in a war. According to you, the economy probably wouldn't be any worse than it is now. Yet you're still picking the guy that got us in the war and did not improve the economy. I'm still baffled how Trump is getting a win on this.
I'm not saying he's winning.
I'm saying you're picking him over Kamala Harris while admitting he's actually doing worse even by your own estimates. By your own estimates, we wouldn't be in war under Kamala Harris and the economy wouldn't be any worse.
Okay, I see your point.
Yeah. Sounds to me like you should be voting
I'm not MAGA. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a full blown,
You're close enough. You're not. Look, you ain't on the block. You in the alley. I get it. I do got to move on, but you're always welcome back to the program anytime, man. And make sure you vote in the next election. Vote this November. You can't be up here bitching about what these people are doing if you ain't doing anything at all to make a choice on who gets in there. So do your civic duty, man. Appreciate you coming through.
Hey, no problem. You have a good one.
You too. All right, moving on with the program. Tap the screen. Get the likes on up, if you will. Smash that like button. My YouTube viewers, show the program some love. Smash that like button. If you happen to be watching us if you're watching us on Instagram, YouTube, or I bet Instagram, TikTok, or Substack, follow the program. You're watching us on YouTube, give us a sub. No, this guy is slow as fuck. Please don't vote. Don't. You said my last caller was slow as fuck. Please don't vote. Look, even if somebody is slow, they still have issues that are concerning. You can't tell the people not to vote. Be kind to the folks. Please don't vote. Philly Chica. And by the way, help your boy out with the hat, mustache, TikTok cap goes. You know what we always ask. He picked him because he likes his lightsaber and Jedi mind tricks. Oh my goodness. His issue was with a book, says King Finn. What do you mean? Shit, there's primaries this May. Well, like I said, do your civic duty. Get out there and vote. Can someone please tell me what the problem was with a tan suit? It broke tradition. Normally the presidents wear dark suits, blue, navy bluish, black, I suppose dark gray or something like that. They just had this tradition of what type of clothing the president should wear. Obviously, Trump has broke tradition on a million different levels. I mean, Trump breaks tradition, like breathing. But when Obama did it, it wasn't cool at the time. So, yeah, he had a debate and there was no flag on the stage or something like that. I mean, Trump don't even have a dog. Trump is not known for going to church. He breaks traditions of presidents like nothing. But when Obama was breaking a tradition back then, it was big news. They attacked Obama for getting mustard, no ketchup on a hamburger. Is that for real? Did they really say something about the condiments Obama got on the hamburger? I don't recall that one. Wow. Again, the conflation thing, he didn't say that somebody who I came in. Wait a minute. Again, the conflation thing. He didn't say that somebody who I came to America illegally is magically legal. No, what I'm saying, I'll go on with the show, but what I'm just simply saying, I don't buy into the claim that the right does not have a problem with immigrants. They just want you to come here the right way because they are celebrating Trump eliminating paths that have previously been considered the right way to come here. And they've eliminated those paths while folks are actively using them. It's like saying, don't climb my window, come in through the door. And you literally are slamming the door while people are on the porch. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. He literally is taking away the legal way to get here. I mean, even when you sponsor somebody, that's the legal way to get here. You get somebody, let's say, for instance, a hospital wants to hire you as a doctor. And they let immigration know we're going to get this guy a salary of $100,000 a year. Here's the medical benefits we give him, so he doesn't have to get health care through the system. He's not going to be on the dole at all. What Trump did is raise the amount employers have to sponsor you by, so that folks who were here legally under sponsorships, their employers suddenly had to fork over a lot more money, and they had to go home 100% legal. You're here legally, you got a job and everything. And suddenly the employer comes and says, unfortunately, we got to send you back. the job we sponsored you for that pays $70,000 a year. Well, now they're suggesting that if we're not paying our employees $150,000 or more, we don't qualify. He's made illegal immigrants out of people that were here legally. That's all I'm saying. Tim, your caller turned in. Turk said, right, it says, Tim, your caller turned into a meatball. I don't think he doesn't know what to really do. I think he's just rolling down the hill, just collecting nasty crap on the road. Yikes. I'm going to plead no contest to that statement. We're closing the windows and the cracks that they are coming through. They are going around the door. No, you're closing. Look, if you see folks from third world countries are banned, that means there is no legal way for them to get here whatsoever. For those countries, and that's a host of countries, Trump has made it off limits now for a whole lot of countries to come here. There is no legal way for them to come here whatsoever. That's about as anti-immigrant as you can get. There are tons of countries now since Trump became president that there is no longer any legal pathway to come here whatsoever. He completely stopped it. Like I said, he's making illegal immigrants out of people who are here legally. So if you were from one of those countries and you were on U.S. soil going through the process, like I mentioned when I migrated, you know, they're running background checks on you or they're waiting for your medical exam. Well, we got to advise you, the current administration has now passed a law that we cannot accept anybody from your country. So, you know, we got to detain you and you will be given an opportunity to either fly yourself home or we'll detain you until we can do it at the time available. But you can't stay anymore. People who were here legally. He's made illegal immigrants out of legal migrants. That's the point I'm making. Fuzzer, good evening. Welcome to the program. Elon makes over $8 million a day. Damn. On government contracts, but screws me on my, wait a minute, he said Elon makes over $8 million a day on government contracts, but screw me and my student loan relief. Yeah, the right is not for student loan relief whatsoever. Fuzzer, good evening. Apparently Fuzzer is not there. We'll move on. Maybe it's getting late. Maybe that's what it is. I ain't seen a hat, mustache, or a TikTok cap. Apparently it's getting late. We'll wrap it up. I'll see if I can take one more caller. John, whatever that says, the John Petritus. Apparently the it's not bringing folks up either. They attacked Obama for I didn't hear about the Obama with mustard thing. And thank you, Alter Ego. Trump MAGA ain't shit, says Mr. G. Doesn't hold Trump on actual success, but by what he does against the people they don't like. And he did say that. He gives Trump credit for being able to troll. I think a lot of MAGA, that's one of the things they like about Trump, is him being able to troll and insult people. JPT Farms, appreciate that mustache. Thank you. I really think that's what one of Trump's biggest selling points is. It's making liberals cry. I've said it, that I think MAGA lives off a steady diet of liberal tears. Even though he's not necessarily doing things that is benefiting their lives directly, they enjoy him tearing apart their adversaries. So even if the economy is not strong and that other shit, they'll give him credit because at least the liberals are in tears. I actually do believe that. Trolling versus leadership says, yeah, well, I'm just telling you. I think they really like seeing Trump go after their perceived adversaries. Alter Ego and Lisa appreciate the support. Hate is expensive, says Lisa. True. Not only is it expensive to the Republican Party, it's expensive to the United States because him going after NATO and Canada and all this other stuff, we're going to be paying for that stuff for a while. Long after Trump is gone, we have revealed a weakness in our country to the world. I also submit to you, we've revealed some weaknesses when it comes to the war as well. Remember when Russia first attacked the Ukraine? Folks thought it would be a slaughter because Russia is this huge superpower. Ukraine's a small country with a small military. And now that the Ukraine is still in the fight, many would suggest conventional wise, obviously Russia has nuclear weapons, but conventional weapons wise, it shows Russia is nowhere near as powerful as folks thought because the Ukraine is giving them some go. Well, that also applies with us now, with Iran. We've had a president literally threaten to end their civilization and could not get them to bow down. Bombing them day in, day and night, all on TV, bragging about it. Bragging about killing civilians and bombing bridges and shit like that. They ain't bowing down. So I would submit to you, just like Russia kind of embarrassed itself on the world stage by showing the world that it's not as powerful as people originally thought, we have now done that under Trump. We have now shown that a significantly weaker military nation like Iran can give America a lot of grief if you hit them in the right place. And they're hitting us economically. They're hitting us economically. So, you know, not only that, but I'll tell you this too. Iran, they know two things. The first thing they know is that America, you know, the American president, the American citizens do not have the desire to pay a bunch of money out of their own pockets for this war to continue. Another thing they know is we don't have the stomach for troops on the ground casualties. So they know to some degree Trump's hands are tied. There's only so far he can go with this. They know he's taking grief right now for the economy and the price of fuel. And they also know that his own countrymen do not support him putting troops on the ground and getting high casualties. They've exposed weaknesses in the United States. The whole world knows. I believe the whole world knows that there's a lot of Americans that are not behind this war. Trump does not have the support of most of his own countrymen. There's a whole lot of Republicans, like I'll draw the line at troops on the ground, a whole lot of Republicans that don't favor it. So the Iranians know that. They know that. So they know Trump is at a weakened state. For the most part, Trump's powers stop at air raids. That's it. That's it. Once he starts putting troops on the ground, you're going to see a whole lot more dissension from the Republicans in MAGA. It's going to get a lot worse once he does that. Once we start hearing about 10, 15, 20 Americans dying every day, it's going to get you think the war is unpopular now. Wait till we start really losing some people. You know, it's going to get worse. And they know that. They absolutely know that. And there's no way to put troops on the ground without that happening. So you're not going to open the strait from an air campaign. You can't do it from an air campaign alone. Iran knows that. They know we got to put troops on the ground. So I think his hands are kind of tied in that case. Much like the WWE fans know it's fake, but don't care. That's sad. That's really sad for something like that to be the case. And I can't totally disagree with you there, Mr. G. Gen X, fuck around and find out. Here's one of my favorite MAGA viewers. Good evening, Gen X.
What's up, man? Why don't you give the people what they want? Kingpin is down there begging. He wants to be heard. He wants to hear.
I didn't see him in there. I do see him now. I didn't see his name.
He is so hungry for attention.
We like King too.
Anything to get up there.
Oh my God. We like some King. But let me ask you though. Is there I've been asking guests this. Is there any way we can get out of this Iranian war that in a manner that looks good for Trump?
Yeah.
Explain.
Yeah, Trump needs to turn his back on Israel, fucking beat the shit out of Israel, tell them to go fuck themselves, pull out of fucking Lebanon, pull out of fucking Iraq, Iran, and let Israel fight their own fucking war.
So then Israel gets destroyed, loses an ally with the United States, but still, what happens with Iran? Does the Strait of Hormuz ends up coming open?
Israel is not our ally. Israel is not our ally at all, dude.
Ooh.
And yes, I'm a conservative. I'm a Trump fan, and I disagree with my fucking conservative counterparts. Israel is not our fucking ally. We need to turn our back on them, fucking get rid of these fucking Jews. I don't like the Iranians either. I don't like the Arabs. But the Iranian people, the Persians, I have no hard feelings towards them.
Okay, well, be cautious about using the hold on. Be cautious about using the J word. The AI does not like that.
Okay.
Let's just say Israelis. You start using the J word, they don't like that. So let's use. I don't censor it all, but I can't control the damn app from
No,
taking.
I got you, brother. I got you.
Okay, so you don't believe the Israelis are an ally?
Nope.
But even if you separate from they already. I see they already try to censor you. Okay, so even if you separate from the Israelis, that still leaves the Iranians with the Strait of Hormuz closed and the price of fuel astronomically high. How do you fix that?
If we cut the Israelis, Iran will be a lot more friendly towards us. They're not going to like us, and we're not going to like them, but they'll be willing to do business with us. Israel, look what they've done.
But hold on, I don't know if I like this, but I do agree with you. If we left the Israelis out to dry, I'm sure Iran might be like, okay, now you're talking about something. But because we got a lot of the J people, we got a lot of them living in this country. They put a lot of money into things. How do you square off with that?
Tim, look what they're doing. They gave us false information, false intel on weapons of mass destruction since 1993. Yeah. Even before that, they've been misleading our country for years. These people are not our fucking allies.
Do you think?
They're not.
Let me ask you this. I've asked this to a few other callers. In regards to the ongoing conflict, excursion, war, whatever you want to call it, do you think it will be happening under President Kamala Harris?
Yes, 100%. This was pre-written. This was a pre-written thing that was going to happen, regardless if it was Trump, if it was Kamala, if it was whoever.
How could you think? Hold on. How the hell could you be about to say her name correctly, which is Kamala, and then deliberately correct it? It's not Kamala, it's Kamala, like a comma punctuation, comma LA, Kamala. You were about to say it right and then corrected it with the wrong. But anyway, so you believe she would have got us in the war too, huh?
No, she wouldn't have got us in a war any more than Trump got us in a war. Israel got us into this war. This wasn't our leadership. This was Israel. Their influence, their bullshit. This isn't about our government, man. This is about our government following bullshit.
And you think Kamala would have? You think Kamala would have let Netanyahu? You think
Democrats, Republicans,
and you believe
Netanyahu?
Okay, wait a minute. And you
is leading this country in the wrong direction.
But you believe Kamala would have let Netanyahu guide her in the wrong direction? Wasn't Trump the guy that was supposed to be above all of this shit and was going to expose all of this stuff, not fall victim to it himself, right?
That's irrelevant, Tim. That's irrelevant at this point. My point is, regardless of who it was, Israel would have got us into this bullshit.
I don't know if I agree with you, because the left has been criticizing Israel. I guess I'll say what you're saying is not impossible, but I don't know if I agree with you that Kamala would have got us in the war.
Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Look what Israel has done as far as territory. They've went up into Lebanon. They went south. They've taken more land. Even when the ceasefire was called with Trump, they kept attacking. They said, "Oh, we didn't know there was a ceasefire." Bullshit, you didn't fucking know. You kept fucking attacking. And what they do is they're moving their borders. They want the borders that they think that they're rightly fucking entitled to for biblical reasons. They want the West Bank. They want totally north. They want west. They want south, even into Egypt. They haven't gone to Egypt yet, but it's coming. It's coming in the future.
You know something, though, as much as you're criticizing the Israelis, for this land grab. I mean, your guy's already talking about taking Cuba next. He talked about taking Greenland. What's the difference?
Look, I don't care about Greenland. I don't care about Colombia. I don't care about Cuba. Right now, I care about the Middle East. I care about what Israel is getting us into. They're getting us into a whole lot of bullshit that we don't need. And I'm telling you right now, Israel is going to end bomb. They are going to end bomb Iran because Iran is kicking the shit out of them. If you take us out of the picture, Iran they're ready to fight. Those motherfuckers ain't playing.
Wow.
We hit them and we thought, oh yeah, it'll be because of Israeli intelligence. Oh yeah, we'll do this, we'll do that. And Israel and Iran opened a can of whoop.
So based on what you're saying, though, because you're right, Netanyahu has been telling us that they're about to get a nuclear weapon back since the 90s, as you correctly point out. He's obviously told that to everybody from Bill Clinton, who was president at that time in the early 90s, followed by George W. Bush, followed by Barack Obama, Trump's first term, Biden's term. So he's told that to a host of presidents. Finally, he tells it to Trump, and Trump acts on it. So as opposed to folks suggesting that Trump had the bravery to do what other presidents have done, sounds like you're saying he was more dumb enough to fall for what other presidents didn't fall for.
Well, here's what Trump did. Here's what Trump did. Here's what Netanyahu did. Netanyahu played on Trump's fucking his feelings of grandeur. You're going to be this great president if you do this and you do that and help Israel through this. And they've got weapons of mass destruction, or they're going to have them, and this and that. And the Mossad said this, and the Mossad. None of that shit was verified by the CIA.
But that's exactly what I'm saying is that he found a person that was willing to fall for something that the other presidents didn't fall for. I need you to hang on one second. I do got to step away. Unfortunately, nature's calling. I'll be right back. Hang on a second. Host the program and be kind to the guests.
All right, people, we're gonna do jumping jacks. We're gonna do a healthy Tim vibe. So everybody get up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and come on, Kingpin. Come on, Kingpin. Get your black ass up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and deep breath. There we go. Now we all feel more healthy. You see, this is working out to be a win-win situation for all of us. Tim over there blowing up his bathroom, man. He blowing shit up. Anyone in the chat who disagrees with me on the Israel thing, tell me. Tell me I'm wrong about that. Israel started this shit. They're leading us in the wrong fucking direction. And all my friends, all my conservative friends, fight with me about it. I'm not stupid and I'm not blind. I see what they've been doing for a very, very long time.
All right. We love the Jewish people. Okay. All right. This is for TikTok in educational purposes. Let the record show we love the Jewish people. We all own 6-point stars. Okay, I'm back. Are you there?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I don't know. I just, to me, you're making Trump almost sound like a bumbling buffoon because you're suggesting that he doesn't seem to have the wherewithal to know that the Israelis are not allies. All the other presidents didn't fall for what Trump fell for. You even said they played to his grandiose. So they knew he had some sort of ego and they knew how to approach him, kiss his ass or play to his grandiose, and we'll get him to do our bidding.
He's not a bumbling buffoon, Tim. He's a man with a lot of pride who, when he thinks he's right, he thinks he's right. And when it's reinforced by another world leader, the man fucking takes it a step forward, which is wrong.
Put us
100% wrong.
Got us all into a war. Didn't even sell it to our own people. He let Netanyahu, I mean, at least advise the American people. I mean, he didn't even sell it to us. He don't even have the support of his own countrymen.
Well, he does. He has the support of a lot of his country.
I don't even think half of it. I don't even think
people.
Huh?
Hold on, let's be real about this. A lot of people in the United States agree that Israel is the.
You all right over there, man? I see that before you continue, Darkside Rider says Gen X is trying to have us do wake-up exercises. This crazy man, he said, hey, Tim, make sure your bathroom spray and make sure you don't slip in on your way out. Well, listen, I don't normally interrupt the show to go to. In fact, I think I've only done that once where I had to go take a bathroom break. But we were working with like a 16-inch log. We had to make sure the lumber was removed. So I had to.
I had him doing jumping jacks, Tim.
Oh, my God.
I had him doing jumping jacks.
Oh, my God. Well, so let me ask you. So how does this end then? You can't put the you can't put the genie back in the bottle. How does this conflict end? He's not going to do what you suggested with Israel, where he just leaves them out to dry. That ain't going to happen. So how does this end otherwise?
Well, I think he's already seeing that Israel is making a lot of mistakes. He called a peace thing, and Israel bombed Lebanon. They bombed Hamas. Trump was not happy about that from the shit that I've read. He wasn't happy about that at all. But he's keeping a lid on it. I think how this ends is that, and I hate to say this, and I really hope I'm wrong, that fucking Israel does the N-bomb on Iran when they really start whipping the shit out of them again. And I think Trump will open his eyes.
Fuck, you expect Israel to go atomic out of this? Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Jesus.
I do.
So, I mean, how much closer to World War III can you get? If we allow Israel to go atomic on Iran, then what's to say Russia from going atomic on Ukraine or China from going atomic on Taiwan or the Indians and Pakistanis? I mean, once one does it, you can't bitch. I mean, that's one of our allies. If we let Israel do that and then we don't take some serious action against Israel, we lose the ability to complain about anybody else at that point.
Well, that'll be the make or break situation. If and when Israel does that, and I believe they will, I think at that point, I think it'll be J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio that tell Trump, man, you're fucking up. You're really fucking up.
Is it possible that Trump ever throws Netanyahu under the bus? I mean, a lot of folks like yourself, a lot of MAGA thinks he's a villain already.
Yep.
So you think Trump and Netanyahu may have a falling out?
Yep, I do.
I do too. I've had a lot of guests. I've had a lot of guests tell me no. Look, Trump loves to protect his image. You're right about the grandiose thing, and I think a lot of Democrats and MAGA and even independents believe that Trump acted on bad intelligence from Netanyahu. So he's already a villain. So all Trump has to do is come out and say, look, I was trying to do what was best for the country, and I just took the advice from this guy. He gave us some bad intel. I can see it happening. I do believe him and Netanyahu's going to have a falling out.
Let me ask you this, Tim. Tim, let me ask you this. If Netanyahu did something really fucked up, a war crime beyond comprehension, and you know what I'm talking about, the N-word, and fucking Trump fucking flipped the script and said, you know what? I'm not down with that. You're fucking up. And he turned his back on Israel. Tell me you wouldn't back his play. Tell me you wouldn't have a whole new respect for him. You might not like him. I know you hate the guy. But tell me you wouldn't have a whole new respect for him and say, all right, good job, Trump. Right on.
I don't. I would favor him criticizing Israel if they decided to go atomic on Iran. I would favor him doing that. But to be honest with you, I think we're past. I mean, if you didn't say anything for what they've done to Gaza, you know, Trump stood beside Netanyahu talking about owning Gaza and saying that people can't come back. Now you want to bitch about him dropping a atomic weapon? You were okay with him doing all this other forms of genocide and all this other shit, but now because he went atomic, you want to say something?
Brother, those are night and day. Doing what he's doing in Gaza, and Israel dropping an N-bomb on Iran.
To me,
talking, bro, that's fucked up.
Here's why I disagree with you. If you look at Gaza, since Israel started attacking them, I don't see a lot of difference other than plus or minus a little bit of radiation. Gaza looks like what would have happened from an atomic weapon. Not to mention him deliberately starving the people to death. I mean, it's literally bombed to the Stone Age. Even if you dropped an atomic weapon, you're like what you're talking about. Gaza wouldn't look much different than it look now.
Hold on, who did that to Gaza? America?
Oh, Israel. What I'm saying is they have essentially already dropped an atomic weapon. Look, the way Gaza looks, that's probably how it would look if you went atomic on them. It wouldn't look much different. It's just all rubble.
Look, I'm not saying Trump didn't make some mistakes, because he did. He made some very, very bad mistakes. But when the fucking rubber meets the road, if he fucking pulls his head out of his ass and says, you know what, Israel, fuck you, Netanyahu, this ain't happening no more, you're on your own, I think that'll be the tail of it.
I think it would bring him some support back from some MAGA, like the Tucker Carlsons and the Nick Fuentes types. But I think that there's a lot
I think it'd bring him back some support from some liberals, like the handsome liberal would say, God damn, the man did the right thing.
I would give him credit finally, but look, you don't done so many wrong things. Like I said, to me, what we supported with Gaza, telling Israel to go ahead and finish the job in Gaza and things like that, it ain't enough to save face is what I'm talking about. Not to mention, as I mentioned earlier with our conversation, the Israelis have thrown so much money around in this country. The J people, they've thrown so much money around in this country. They're involved in so many businesses and banking institutions and things like that. I think there would be a lot of Americans that would not support America leaving Israel on the lurch. There's too many Americans. There's a whole lot of them in this country. A whole lot of people who were born in Israel that live in this country. So he would have a major problem out of them, and they got a lot of power and influence.
You know what's funny? Is about 1,500 years ago, we had the same problem. And the Romans stepped in and they put the kibosh on the J people. As history went on, every time the J people got ahead in life, they tried to take over everything. That's what they do. They just don't do it like the Muslims. Here's the difference between the Muslims and the Israelis. Okay? The Muslims and the Israelis, I don't like either of them. But I can respect the Muslims because the Muslims will just take us out themselves. The Israelis will use us to take everybody else out and don't care if we live or die. I think old Big AH had the right fucking idea. Mustache man.
I know you're talking about. I'll leave it at that. You're not the only one I've heard say that. I obviously do not agree, but I've heard a lot of folks say that. That's a horrible sentiment, but I see a few people in the comments even agreeing with you. Gen X, thanks for coming through as always. I appreciate it.
All right, brother. Have a great night. I'll talk to you soon.
You too. Looking in the comments, Darkside Rider says also to answer what Gen X said, you're wrong. We don't need to try to get into no more disputes with Iran or Israel. I believe you are wrong. Well, I'll agree with what Gen X, my last caller, said in regards to if we left Israel, if we hung them out to dry as an olive branch to Iran, he's right. Iran probably still wouldn't like us, but that would certainly soften things up. All right, well, look, you stay where you guys are in the Western Hemisphere. If you're going to let us handle our business with Israel and you're not going to get involved, let us deal with this for a few months. If you hold up your end, we might be able to make a deal, you funky Americans. I could see that. I could see Iran coming around a little bit on that. That would mean a lot to them if we handed them Israel on a plate. That would mean a lot to them. I don't think that'll ever happen, but that would improve relations with Iran significantly if we'd done something like that. Looking in the comments, what does it says? What does that mean? Who killed? Oh, you guys are discussing with each other. You're definitely wrong because the U.S. struck first when they hit the school, and they only go on a war with Iran for Israel. We shouldn't be in that war. I agree with you, Harvey World, on Instagram. I 100% agree. We should not be in that conflict. 100% agree. We should not be in that. And I think if President Trump could go back in time a few months, we would not be in that. I feel fairly confident that President Trump is not happy we're in that conflict right now. If he could have a do-over, he would probably have not done that because it is not going our way. It is. I mean, not only is it not going our way, it's costing us a fortune, and there's no guarantee what we were going to get out of that. We've already gotten out of that. We've taken out the head of their country, the Ayatollah. We've killed them. And outside of that, I suppose I'm not even for certain we've set back their nuclear program because the uranium is still there. So the only thing we've really done is kill the heads of state in that country. And they obviously have been replaced by others that have the same mindset. Some would even suggest they are even more further to the right. So that's about it. From this point on, Iran is going to be the one scoring points. Because the Strait of Hormuz is closed, they're charging $2 million per ship. They're now profiting off of this war. They're now profiting off of it. So I suppose Trump could keep hitting them from the air, but it's pretty clear they're not going to bow down to our threats. I mean, he threatened to literally end their entire civilization. They didn't flinch. So obviously, and I'll say this before I go to the next caller. President Trump has had a lot of success throughout his life and political career by making threats, getting folks to bow to his will. As a businessman, you got all of the money, all of the lawyers and things like that. The average employee, they're kind of on their own. They got to sue you. You can delay things. And he's been winning all his life at that level. What Iran is doing is something he's not familiar with. He likely thought Iran would have been an easy pushover like Venezuela was. He wasn't prepared for Iran. Iran was prepared for him. Remember, Iran already had a hit out on Ambassador Bolton, the mustache man. They wanted, because Ambassador Bolton under Trump's first administration wanted to attack Iran as well. And they put a hit out on Ambassador Bolton's life. Oddly enough, Trump in his second term had a falling out with Ambassador Bolton and removed that man's security detail in the middle of an assassination plot on his life. Ambassador Bolton is lucky he ain't dead. I mean, your guy took away, the guy you was on his team took away your security detail. But anyway, not to go too far down in that rabbit hole, but they knew from Trump's first term that he was jonesing to attack them. The only difference is Trump didn't have the amount of loyalty he has in his second term. His first term, they were not going to let him go into Iran like that. His second term, they did. But it certainly let Iran know if this guy gets back in power, we need to be prepared. They were prepared. They absolutely were prepared. Looking in the comments, how do we know we are kicking ass? What is the truth? You don't know we're kicking ass. That's just what you got to go by what they're telling you. I mean, we are killing people in Iran. They're making it clear. The Lego videos even suggest that. The Lego videos they're releasing suggest that we're blowing up and killing a bunch of people. We are taking lives, but that doesn't denote what victory is in this war. Just killing a bunch of people. That we went over there with 3 goals in mind: stop them from becoming a nuclear power. They had an evil regime that was killing their own people, so we're going to protect the protesters. That stuff hasn't happened. There's no provisions at all to protect the citizens of Iran. So we use that as an excuse. Well, we're going over there to stop them from oppressing their people. You ain't heard Trump say nothing else about that no more. He just wants this shit to end at this point. So that ain't going to happen. Well, when all is said and done, the Iranian citizens are going to be still at the mercy of the government. That ain't going. Oh, and the other thing he said was he not only wanted regime change, he wanted to have a say-so in it. That ain't going to happen either. That is not going to happen either. So, yeah, he'll kill a bunch of people. He'll blow up a bunch of shit in Iran, but his own stated goals will not be met. He is not going to protect the citizens of that country. He is not going to institute regime change that America gets a say-so in. And I don't even think he's going to really stunt their nuclear program to any significance, because the enriched uranium that's at 60%, we're not getting that out of there. Not without putting boots on the ground. And as I've stated to you earlier in the live, the American people don't have the stomach for American soldiers to be getting killed over there. He doesn't have, that's where I believe he would have a fight with his own Congress and stuff like that. They don't have the stomach for that. So unless you put boots on, you're not going to get that uranium out of there by just bombing them from the air. That ain't going to happen. Anyway, looking in the comments, nope, Iran called for a ceasefire to come to the bargaining table. That's a lie you're hearing from the Trump administration. Iran is not asking for a ceasefire. I don't believe Iran has ever asked for a ceasefire. Trump is the one that's asking for a ceasefire because this isn't going well for him, so he's trying to find a way out. Trump was claiming we had a ceasefire while Iran was still bombing Israel. That's not a ceasefire. I don't see a ceasefire in that at all. So, I think Trump wants a ceasefire, but he's not getting it. But to appease the American people that are war weary, he's telling us we're getting it. King Finn, everybody. King Finn, good evening.
Yes, good evening. Good evening. It's a couple little housekeeping things I want to take care of.
Housekeeping, okay.
Tell your Proud Boy to change his motherfucking tank before we get on here talking about doing some motherfucking jumping jacks and having my fucking name in his mouth. I don't understand why these motherfuckers want to keep my name in your mouth. Are you that mad at the fact that I'm right and you can't win a debate against me because you got my name in your mouth every fucking day? You see my name, you start crying like a bitch. It's starting to sound like Trump derangement syndrome. You have King Finn derangement syndrome. Keep my name out your mouth.
KFDS, son. King Finn derangement syndrome.
Right.
All right, we learned
So
it.
we're going to move on to some other shit that I was just happen to be looking at, while you had other people up, you know what I'm saying? The Second Chance Act was never done. Trump didn't have shit to do with that. You do realize the Second Chance Act was first signed in 2008. It was reauthorized by the Congress. That didn't have shit to do with Trump, dog.
So the one thing he did give Trump credit for, Trump had nothing to do with it.
It did nothing to do with that shit, dog, at all. The other thing that I was going to talk to you about is that other backup, the other shit you had up there before. I forgot what it was before, but I had a couple things I wanted to add to the mix tonight.
Are you talking about? You talking about the one with Melania?
Yes, thank you, Melania. So the reason Melania got her stinking twat ass up there the other night
Twat.
and made that
That's
speech,
disrespectful to the first lady. She's the first lady in this country.
Twats. Yes, I don't care because they constantly say that Michelle is a man. You can kiss my hairy black ass. I don't care.
Why does it have to be hairy? You can't shave that.
Because it is. I like my ass hairy. Okay.
Oh,
however, so Melania got her stinking ass up there the other night to make that speech because there's a Brazilian woman. What is her name again? Her name is.
I knew there was something coming. The reason why she would do that.
Amanda Ungaro.
They don't like you, King.
Ungaro.
They don't like you, King. But keep going.
Damn them. She's 41 years old. She's the former model who was with her boyfriend who had a son. And the boyfriend is, what is his name? Damn, I need to find his name. Either way it go. The boyfriend was cool with Epstein and seen Trump and Melania at these parties. She got dirt. They need to go get that lady and put her under fucking protection right now. Okay, because she already done said in her Twitter post, her Instagram posts, she gonna let the motherfucking cat out the bag. Okay,
so she's not in America.
No, she's not in America because she got pulled away by ICE. So the boyfriend of hers, damn, what is her? I can't remember the dude's. Paolo Zampoli. Paolo Zampoli is his name. Paolo Zampoli was real cool with Trump and Epstein. Yes, Lisa, you got it. Was very cool with Epstein and Trump and attended all the Epstein parties. She got deported by ICE. Now, her son is the one who's still in America, and Paolo is keeping him because, of course, Paolo wants to air. But Miss Ungaro, she about to tell it all. She about to let it all out the bag.
But you know how things can be twisted. MAGA in particular are going to say she's only snitching. What they say, Jose Canseco's only snitching because he's finished. I mean, they're going to say that she's only snitching because she got her ass deported.
But does it matter? See, because here's the thing. One, there's the court of public opinion. Two, there's the actual history and all the documents and all the videos that they got with Paolo and Amanda in them.
If she got
videos of her, Melania, Trump, and Epstein on the island. There are videos of them together at parties. There are videos of them all kicking it together real close.
But now, if she got videos, that would speak volumes. Real quick before we continue. Hold on.
Go get her up under some protection right now because she about to let that shit blow the fuck up.
Well,
next.
She might decide like Brooks in Shawshank Redemption. She don't want to live anymore. Before you continue though, Darkside Rider says, Tim, from what day you're saying and what is really going on, the logistics are saying that we are losing badly, very badly. The Lego commercials minus what Pete Hegseth says in what Trump. You said the logistics say we're losing the Iranian war badly. I don't know if we're losing badly.
We are losing first of all, let's go here. Okay, you can't exactly call it a war. Well, you can call it a war.
But
war. You can't exactly say you're winning anything when you're under duress. Nobody's getting through the strait. They told them two carriers today, if y'all don't back up, we're going to blow that shit up with the water mines. And we got Sam tourists waiting off the cliffs. Do what you want. Guess what? Them bitches stopped where they was and backed the fuck up. They don't want no problems, okay? Let's stop playing like we don't all know what's going on. Trump is lying again. He lied about the ceasefire. He's lying about these peace talks. They over there, the peace talks shut down because fucking Spokey Eye Vance is over there running his mouth instead of listening to what these people are telling him. And they are telling him, we want you to pay us reparations and get the fuck out of Iran. Period.
Smokey Eye Vance.
Yes, Smokey Eye Vance.
Well, listen.
The man that wears more mascara than most women. Yes.
Wow. He said, in the comments, Mr. G says, Mark Levin said Trump is the Jewish president. Ugh, that didn't go well. That ain't gonna make it.
It's not gonna go well.
Ooh,
because much like your last caller just said, unfortunately, the one irritating thing that I would agree with him on is that we do need to let fucking Israel go. Unfortunately, that's the one thing I agree with him on. Yes, Trump got duped. He got played. He got shellacked. He's the dummy who went over there and started some shit because Israel told him to, much like Bush did. If you didn't learn the first time, what's the saying? once what? Well, I can't remember the damn saying.
Yeah, shame on me, shame on you. I get what you're saying.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I will say, but then you're saying exactly what I was saying earlier is that Trump and Netanyahu will likely have a falling out. I mean, Trump will view Netanyahu. If I'm Trump's advisor, I'm gonna tell him, sir, listen, your best way of getting out of this is to scapegoat Netanyahu. Clearly, this was done because of what he told you. And even your people believe that he's a villain. The liberals believe he's a villain. There is your way out.
Tim, is he listening to his advisors?
He might when his reputation is in jeopardy.
No, he ain't. No, he ain't. If he would have listened to his advisors, he would have never did this shit. What are you talking about? He would have never did it. If he was listening
well, wait a minute. You said you asked, is he listening? You asked, is he listening? You asked, is he listening to his advisors? At the time, Netanyahu was an advisor.
He's not listening to anybody. He's doing what he usually does, taking a big shit all over everything and letting it fly up his fucking back because the diaper ain't holding it all no more.
Oh my God, that's a nasty.
It's all over his back now.
God. So
the Lego commercials are correct. The Lego movies are correct. And I got to tell you, Lego's making a lot of fucking money. You know that?
I don't know about that because because folks are like, well, I can't believe Lego hasn't issued a cease and desist and all of that. And people talk about but let me say this though. There's Lego don't have a play in this. The name Lego is not being used in these videos, is it?
Nope.
So it could just be building blocks.
Building blocks, and they're like this. They don't have anything. They don't have anything to do with this. And to be honest with you, is making most of us want to go get our Lego sets again, isn't it? I know you broke out a set of your Lego.
Yeah, something. Speaking of which,
look,
right here, right here. I got to put this one together. This is not official Lego though, but it is compatible with Legos. You can snap Legos onto this.
Yeah.
But this is a big ass building block plane, and it's Legos. Yeah, I got
hence the reason Lego ain't saying shit because motherfuckers is buying Legos left and right.
Yeah, I like it. It helps me, just like motherfuckers do jigsaw puzzles. I like Legos. I got tanks and F-15s I'm looking at around here that are made out of Legos. I got them everywhere. But
we're gonna jump back to the actual facts that the last couple really fucked up things I'm about to say to you. You're gonna want to really actually listen to this, right?
Okay.
So the other thing is the petrodollar is done. You do realize that, right?
I hope not.
No, it's done. It's over with. It's over with. I'm sorry to tell you, France has already put out $15 billion. The Dutch bank has already told Trump, froze his assets, gave him
Deutsche
back,
Bank.
told them,
it took me a moment to realize what you were saying. Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank.
They don't ever want to do business with him again. He can never ever have to with them anymore. The petrodollar is done, not only because of that shit he did in Venezuela, but everybody is changing their money over to yuan. And they're about to start using the BRICS system. It's been activated already. So that's over with, right? Oh, plus like I told you this before it happened, Iran has made brought out the official statement that the toll as well as anybody.
I heard about that. Oil, the money they pay the toll got to be paid in Chinese marks or whatever it is.
It can't be paid in nothing but yuan. So where is that petrodollar going to come in at now, brother? I don't know. The other thing was there's something really strange about him asking for his annual budget and it being $1.5 trillion. I think earlier you were talking about it with one of the guests, and it's like they were saying, oh yeah, well, our money is going to do this, our money is going to do that, but he's asking for $1.5 trillion
for the military
for the next military bill, and he's cutting, and I'm not just talking about cutting, he's cutting like ending programs
for the poor
to do this.
Well, right, I think if it's one thing that should be obvious by now with Greenland, Venezuela, Cuba, fucking Yemen and Nigeria and Iran, he wants to be a wartime president. Period. He wants to be, like a kind of a expanding the American empire type president. And you're going to need a huge military budget to do that. He wants, because Cuba's next. Colombia's in there. He's still talking about Greenland. I mean, he wants to get us in a war, big wars. That's going to cost money.
The problem with that is going to be that nobody here wants that. We can barely feed ourselves. We're barely going to have food in the next 6 months. We're probably going to have very low stock, because once they pull the gas out the strategic reserve, it ain't going to be no more gas, right?
Yeah, and I would also add, just to strengthen the point, this whole draft, the selective search. I mean, it's pretty clear the direction he's taking us in. He expects America to be in some wars. It's written all over what he's doing.
Well, you know, when he's the toddler running around with G.I. Joe men, I mean, that would be great, but he's not. He's playing with our children, with our sons, our daughters, our uncles, our aunts, our cousins. This is not the time to do that. Especially seeing for the fact that the homeland is not secure. We are insolvent. Those are two different words, right? We're insolvent, not secure. It's not secure here. We barely have a grip on homelessness in the Osprey. We have a housing surplus. There are 15 million houses. We have a housing surplus of 15 million houses. The homeless population is less than 800,000. Did you know that?
So we got plenty of places to live. They're just not affordable.
They're not affordable, and they're not going to give it to the homeless people, right? So then you're going to do the thing with the insolvent. It's $39 trillion right now. That's the debt.
Wow.
So when all these countries start coming like France did and yanking their money out the bank, or even just come, because France actually did that shit without a problem. France did that shit so clean that the bankers in New York probably didn't realize what they were doing before it even happened.
I can't listen. As much as I want our country to succeed, I can't hate on France. You know, under Trump, the MAGA, we've said so much shitty stuff about France. They would be speaking German if it wasn't for us. They owe us. I mean, Trump ain't said nothing positive about France whatsoever. It's just been insult after insult after insult. I can't hate on them at all for doing that. I can't hate on them.
That's your boy. That's what I'm saying. If they don't pull the 25th or impeachment quick, it's already over for us. But it's just going to depend on the level of fuck that we are. You understand that? Like, it's really looking bad, even though I know he wants to portray that it's great, but I will tell you that there's still a fucking hole in the White House. Did you remember that? There's still a fucking hole.
A judge ordered him to stop building the ballroom. So
I wonder why. He wants to build a 90,000 square foot ballroom. How big is the actual White House?
That ballroom is way bigger than the White House.
It's like 3 times the size of the White House. Why would you build that?
Because the White House may get torn down and built bigger too. I mean, you see the tribunal. That man likes big and better. He's building big shit. I mean, for all we know, Trump may turn the whole DC area into a government town. Start, what they call it, eminent domain. Start taking properties and shit away. But with Trump, you never know.
Got the money for it. See, it would be different if he wasn't playing with our tax dollars to make these things happen. He's playing with our money, playing with house money. You don't get that. It's just like Stephen Miller got pulled into a conference the other day. If you follow Ted Lieu, if you don't follow Ted Lieu, you should be following Representative from California, Ted Lieu. Ted Lieu is coming after everybody's head. He had Cash Patel and Stephen Miller in there. He's smart. He smacked the dog shit out of Cash Patel and made him look completely stupid.
How do you respond to Texas in the comments stating the ballroom that's not using tax dollars?
Okay, so you can keep believing that shit if you want to.
It might be
but
true.
Ain't no donors are gonna pay for that. If you believe that they're gonna pay for that, then you're just as stupid as he is. He's giving them tax breaks, so he's gonna give them the money on the back end. If he's gonna pay $300 million to make that damn ballroom, somebody's getting $300 million, including him.
I'll say this: I'm not 100% sure you're right. I'm certainly not 100% sure you're wrong. I'll just say this. The right, when it comes to social programs and entitlement programs for the poor, one of the things they always say is there is no such thing as a free lunch. It's not free health care. It's no such thing as free. You believe these folks are giving all this money and we just want to give our president millions of dollars for the ballroom. We don't want none in response for it. Yeah, so yeah, whatever. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know where the money. Hold on. I don't know where the money is coming from. But the problem is that is the problem. You don't know where the money is coming from, so you don't know if he's going to reward them.
Right, I do. It's just like he got on TV the other day and said, "We don't have money for daycare. We're going to make your states tight. We're going to make your states tax you." But he's asking 1.5 trillion for a military budget. You ain't got money for daycare or to pay for motherfucking kids to eat, but you got money for fucking shells and ammo, right? Come on now.
That sounds like the Tupac quote. Money for wars but can't feed the poor. I see Gen X wants you to know I have an aluminum hat for Queen Finn.
Hey, fake ass Proud Boy, did you change the oxygen tank yet? Go
You
change
two
your
are
oxygen
like
tank for you come fucking with me. You don't want it.
you two are like the odd couple. What was the guy,
No,
Jack
we're not, 'cause
Klugman?
I don't walk around with his name in my mouth.
Ooh.
I don't drop his name every fucking time you get a chance to. You done been on everybody fucking live looking for me, and they let me know.
Damn.
You on everybody motherfucking live looking for me, thinking that you want to fucking battle me, and everybody keep telling you the same fucking thing. Keep my name out your mouth. Maybe you should use that advice. That might help you.
How about this? How about this post? This is Trump. We're now starting the process of clearing out the Strait of Hormuz as a favorite of countries all over the world, including China, Japan, South Korea, France, Germany, and many others. Incredibly, they don't have the courage or will to do this work themselves. Very interestingly, however, empty oil carrying ships, something like that. So he's making it sound like, once again, he's insulting people. He's insulting people.
That was this morning. You know that, right?
Yeah.
That was this morning he said that. And what happened? The two destroyers got turned back today, right? Are they clearing it out? No. So stop believing that fucking pathological liar, bro. He's a pathological liar with a shitty diaper. And the shit is all up his back, bro. He's lying about everything.
Oh my God. Who the hell is using it?
Every single thing.
Well, listen, he says a lot of things that don't culminate into reality. Fact is, and I'm looking in the comments, who the hell is using the name the Gangsta Conservative? Oh my God. Really?
Somebody who really want a problem with gangster grandma.
I see that.
It gonna be on me.
The Gangsta Conservative.
She get at your ass. She get in your ass. Don't say to nobody tell you.
The Gangsta Grandma gets me.
My problem.
Gangsta Grandma gets me in so much trouble. I had a relative today tell me to take the white cock out of my mouth. Like, you've been listening to my program? Like, really? Like, what the fuck? Like, you've been listening to this shit? Yes, that hurt me. Told me to take the white, like that ain't came from nobody but Gangsta Grandma. Like, really?
That ain't came from nobody but her, bro. Damn.
I'm serious. I go to get my. There's a gas station in my town where a lot of folks know what I do online. Gangsta Grandma name comes up all the time. I mean, it is amazing. I go places and her name comes up. Like, Jesus.
She's screwing you in real life. Damn.
Yeah, somebody told me to take the white cock out of my mouth. Like, what the actual fuck?
That's gotta hurt.
Yeah. I gotta go. We'll leave it at that, King Fan. Always a pleasure. Apparently, you got a little bit of ire with Gen X.
Hey man, keep the protein out your mouth, man. Look, hey man, your folks said it to you, man. I can't help you with that one.
I'm out of here.
I would have heard my name or some shit. Damn, boy.
Audi 5.
Your people's got you like that. Ooh.
Audi 5,000. I'm out. Anyway, tap the screen. Yes, told me to take the white cock out of my mouth. What in the actual fuck? Can I get to 85,000? Can you guys tap the screen, get the likes up? For my YouTube viewers, if you will, smash that like button. A lot of you folks still tuned in this late. Appreciate it. Thank you for the support. We're here normally most weekdays, so if you favor this type of open dialogue from all sides of the aisle without anyone being blocked, banned, or censored, follow the program if you're currently watching us live on Instagram, TikTok, or Substack. Thank you for the hat mustache there, Blue and Banks. Appreciate that. And so does Epstein and Jazane and Matt and Melania. Appreciate the hats you put on their heads as well. And if you're watching us on YouTube live, give us a sub. By the way, smash that like button, as I stated, if you're watching on YouTube. Looking in the comments, though. Been here for a few hours. This has been fun, says Corey. Thank you, Corey. I appreciate you tuning in. We'll try to make it fun every day. Gangsta got fans, says me too. Yeah, she absolutely does. Thanks for coming on, Tim. Good night. Appreciate it. Let's get a little more in here to get to a point in time to see what the number is, all is going on, and how to get the job. There's a lot here you got there. I can't read all of that. Get the job and do it with the other guys who was going through a different experience. Well, we want to get as many MAGA in here as possible because I do want to hear from some MAGA. But with the likes of Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, Alex Jones, Joe Rogan, a lot of folks are turning on Trump. Most of I won't say most, but many of the big name conservative, what do you want to call it, content creators, they're outspoken about Trump. I mean, Alex Jones talking about the 25th Amendment to literally take the guy out of office by force. Alex Jones just said that. Candace Owens is like he's got dementia, calling him, and grandpa needs to go. They're coming down hard on him. So he absolutely is, despite the CNN poll suggesting that he still has 100% support, maybe, but he's losing a lot of the quantity of it, though. I mean, there's a lot of folks that are not happy with what's going on. But anyway, let me look in the comments before I go to the next caller. And real quick, we played this yesterday. I think it's still worthy of noting.
Closed. And President Trump this morning on Truth Social is not mincing words. I mean, truly, just taking it to the next level. Quote, "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but
I want you to hear
God bless the great fit." Can't he just behave like a normal human? I mean, honestly, like the president, 3D chess, shut up. Fucking shut up about that shit. You don't threaten to wipe out an entire civilization. We're talking about civilians just casually in a social media post. Like I am the first to try to understand Trump and his strategy.
Yeah, she wasn't happy. In the comments, I see somebody said hook up a burner phone so you can talk to YouTubers too, Tim. The problem with the burner phone, William Perry, is there's no way to stop folks who want to act an idiot, act a fool. All of a sudden you can't get through because somebody is trying to dial the number over and over again and shit like that. I would gladly do that. I got all kinds of equipment around here I would do that with, but it has to be something where you can make it work without the assholes coming through, because there are trollers and people that don't like the program getting big, liberals that don't like me giving Trump credit for what I give him credit for. There's conservatives that don't like me criticizing Trump for what he get criticized for. So the problem with trying to do what you're suggesting, which I will 100% be behind that, is you're going to have assholes making that hard to do. Looking in the comments here is a long time. Thank you, Edward Blackman, saying you're a long time watcher. He deserves all he gets, says Billy Watt. Well, that's kind of what's happening. And I seen in the comments, Texas says, I think something to the suggestion of it's laughable to suggest that Joe Rogan is a conservative. I didn't say Joe Rogan is a conservative, but he did support Trump in 2024. He did endorse Trump. He certainly ain't coming across as a liberal. He didn't endorse Kamala Harris. He endorsed President Trump. Joe Rogan was in 2024 was more of a conservative than MAGA. I don't think he's ever been MAGA, but he did endorse Trump. So he certainly is not a progressive or a liberal. So yeah, he's a content creator that's been on Trump's side and now he's not. If you want to suggest he's not MAGA, I'll agree with that. No, he's not MAGA, but he's huge online and he's anti-Trump now. But we can get off of Joe Rogan. Candace Owens absolutely was MAGA. So was Megyn Kelly. And absolutely with Alex Jones. So Nick Fuentes went and had dinner at his house with Kanye West. I mean, he's losing some folks. These aren't crazy lunatic left. These are people that have nothing to do with the left. So he's losing folks on the right now. I don't know why the Congress, though, is not acting in the same way. I don't know how many folks he got to lose before Congress starts saying we can't just let him get away with shit. I think the problem is Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, I think. Not Mike. Mike Jones is the rapper. Mike Johnson. Say my name, Mike Jones. Anyway, The problem is Mike Johnson can stop Congress from having sessions and things like that. And I really believe what they need to do, I guess in the future, pass a law or something like that. If the Speaker of the House is refusing to call people back, let's say the government is shut down, for instance, like that, and this guy is refusing to call everybody back into session, like they had a bill, both the Congress and both the Senate had a bill that was going to reopen the government and get the TSA agents paid. And you had the senator from, who was it? I think Ted Cruz was in on it. And you had either a senator or a congressman, all Republicans from Louisiana. They was like, this was going to work. And you had Trump saying, no, we don't want to work with the Democrats. So Johnson just decided we're not even going to call Congress back into session. Even though you had enough Republicans to likely get the government back open because Trump wants this Save America Act passed. I really believe they need to pass some sort of law that prevents the Speaker of the House from holding up all of Congress. If Congress wants to, if you got enough members on Congress that wants to pass a bill or something like that, one man being the Speaker of the House should not be able to hold up Congress and prevent them from voting on it. They almost need to have it like where you can go around the president with a majority. He can veto, you can go around him if you got a majority. If you got enough Congress people, they should be able to force the House to come back into session, even if the Speaker doesn't want it to. Because right now the Speaker is just kind of blindly following Trump. Johnson is going to do whatever Trump says. So yeah, which is going to play a part in the future. So I really believe they need to come up with a way that the Congress, if they want to, they can go around Johnson and call Congress back into session. If it's enough of them that vote to call Congress back into session, it should override him not doing it. Like, for instance, when Obama had a Supreme Court pick, the head of the Senate, Mitch McConnell, just did not call the Senate back into session. You shouldn't be able to do that. You should have enough. If enough of them are able to speak out, they should be able to go around it. And by him doing that, he prevented Obama from making a Supreme Court pick. Just don't even call it up. Don't even call it in for a hearing. Just prevent it from happening. So yeah, I absolutely believe they should be able to override that. Does Trump have shit on all of the Congress? Yeah, he has shit on them. He can cause them to lose their careers. You says, does Trump have shit on all Congress? They don't want to lose their, yeah, well, you answered your question, but yeah, that's what he has on them. He has them fearful that if they speak out against him, their constituents are going to just get rid of him. And he has proof that it works. Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, he has cost a lot of politicians that spoke out against him their jobs. So they're afraid of that. Not to mention death threats and stuff that come along with it too. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene said they were doxing her and making death threats and everything. Before we continue on, looking in the comments here, it really is amazing how many people in the Congress and the Senate are so spineless. Yeah, I ain't never seen it this bad. They asked Kamala Harris that the other day. They were like, with your predictions, that Trump would get us into war and use the military in major American cities and the economy and things like that. And they were telling her, do you want to take credit and say, I told you so right now and do a mic drop? She was on some kind of show, Kamala Harris was. And she said, no, I don't want to put out the I told you so. She said, because even though I was able to predict what he was going to do, she said, one thing I was not going to predict, and it's capitulation, however the word is pronounced. She didn't expect everybody to just bow down. I don't think we've ever seen that before in America. I don't think we've ever seen so many people, even when they don't agree with him, just bow down and just let him do whatever he wants. Because now there's a lot of folks on the right that do not favor us being in Iran. But Congress, they could have stopped this stuff. They just letting them do it. And now he's asking for $1.5 trillion for the military. What do you think he's going to use that for? Cuba? Colombia. I mean, Greenland. I mean, like the guys, you're gonna have to step up and do something. We're gonna be somewhere else next. He's made it clear Cuba, at least Cuba's next. So I don't think anybody predicted that they would all just fold like that. Anyway, looking in the comments, and what happens with the 1.5 trillion? Like eventually, right now we paying $4 and something for gas. Groceries ain't cheap, but Americans ain't starving. It ain't the Great Depression. But I submit to you, if this keeps going, eventually it's going to hurt badly. Eventually, this stuff is really going to start to hurt because the trajectory is not going in a positive direction. It's going in a negative one. It's going to eventually start to hurt badly. You can't just let this keep happening. Either you get some of this, and obviously what's going on in Iran ain't turning around. They're not opening the strait. They're not cooperating. Whatever we want to do with Cuba is going to cost money. We're not going to get any money out of this stuff. So yeah, eventually this is going to hurt badly. It's just not right now. Right now it's hurting, but people can kind of deal with it. Eventually this is going to hurt badly. You heard my last guest talking about they're going to go away from the US dollar and all. They start withdrawing all their money out of our banks and calling all their debts due and shit like that. Eventually this is going to hurt badly if we don't turn this around. I mean, like really, really fucking badly. Israel is not going to let America out 2 years. Then what happens? Not a coincidence that it was changed from Department of Defense to Department of War. You could not have said that any better, Boho. The guy changed the Department of Defense to the Department of War and literally stayed at war. He really is televising his moves. He really is making it clear that we're going to be a wartime country under him. I really believe that the goal is to expand the American empire. I don't know if we're going to benefit from that, but I believe that's his goal is to expand the American empire at our expense. Mr. Tajikistan, good evening. Welcome to the program. Am I pronouncing that right? Tajikistan? Are you there? Apparently not. He's away from the device. I wanted to hear from him if he was in one of the stands or from one of the stands. What is it? Tajikistan, Turkmenistan. There's 3 of them, I think. Well, anyway, Afghanistan. I think that's the other one. Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan. Yeah, I think that's the other one. Anyway, what kind of dirt do you think Trump has over Congress? Their jobs, their safety, their finances is what he has over Congress. If any member of Congress fucks with Trump, they're going to probably lose their jobs. They're guaranteed to have their safety threatened. And it probably will hurt them financially as well. It hurt Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think her business took a major hit, even though she made a lot of money from Congress. She would have made a whole lot more. People point out that Marjorie Taylor Greene made $25 million and she retired or she quit right to secure her pension. Bullshit. She wanted to stay. She would have made a lot more money than that. She would have made a lot more money than that if she didn't get into a spat with Trump. Just the time she's been gone, she would have probably made another couple million. She would have made a lot more money had she stayed. That little pension and all that shit, no, she would have made a lot more money if she stayed. So her leaving Congress has hurt her financially. I'm sure it's hurt Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger financially. It's hurting them all. So he has a lot over Congress. He's hurting them. People don't even know what the spat is really about since Texas. The spat between who? People don't know what the spat is really about between who? Trump and who? I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene has made it clear that she wanted to get those girls justice. So the spat between Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene is over the Epstein people. That's what she is saying. What are you now? You're saying now. I know folks suggest that she wanted a position on his cabinet or something like that. So you're suggesting that I don't think Marjorie Taylor Greene went apeshit on Trump because of a position on his cabinet. I think she went apeshit on Trump because she was pushing for the Epstein girls. Trump was pushing back, and she got on TV and said a little bit too much, and Trump got pissed off with her and fucked her up. That's what I think the spat is about. I don't think it has anything to do with her trying to get on his administration. You says no CBDC. What the hell is that? CBDCs. What is that? I don't even know what that is. I think it was about Epstein. I really think it was about Epstein. I actually believe Marjorie Taylor Greene on that. I believe they got in a spat because she was trying to get justice for those girls, and Trump told her, what you're doing is going to hurt people. I know it's going to hurt one of my friends or hurt some friends of mine. That's what she said. I don't think she's making that stuff up. I think if she made it up, Trump would have probably sued her or something like that, like he sued every damn body else. You notice when it comes to him suing people for fake news and defamation, you call him a pedo, he don't sue you. He don't fuck with you on that at all. You can say anything about him you want and get sued. The minute you call him a pedo, suddenly no lawsuit comes out of him. Why is that? You say he was on the Epstein Island. You say he was doing shit with little girls. He don't sue you for that. He sue you for all kinds of other shit. He don't sue you for that at all. Why do you think that is? Does that make sense? He's afraid of discovery since Lisa and Kojam. Yeah, could be that. Could be that. Yep, speaks volumes though. Yeah, he's suing everybody for every damn thing. You got half the country calling him a pedo. He ain't suing no fucking body. Ain't even complaining about it. He don't even point people out and say this person is wrong for saying that. He don't say nothing about them at all. You can call him a pedo on the middle of CNN. He don't say nothing about it at all. He might say you're a loser, you're fake news, but he don't criticize you calling him a pedo at all. That kind of speaks volumes, as one of my guests says. Isn't Russia doing the same thing right now? I believe they're in a war economy right now because of Ukraine. True. To me, I think Russia had a more legitimate reason to attack the Ukraine than I think we did it with Iran. I think that, and I don't favor what Russia did to Ukraine either, but trying to have a NATO member right next door to you that was going to be friendly with the United States, probably would have ended up letting us put bases and shit in their country. That's, to me, more of a danger to Russia than Iran is to the United States, because that's next door to you. That's right next door to you. And that's a much stronger, powerful enemy. Iran is not a powerful enemy compared to America. Obviously, America is an incredibly powerful enemy compared to Russia. So to me, Russia had a more legitimate reason to act than we did. Besides the fact that he doesn't sue for suits or anything, because that is enough for me, honestly. Okay. Russia wants their resources. Well, that too, but I don't think Russia wanted them to become a member of NATO, and they were getting pretty close to that. I tried to bring up TikTok sucks. Apparently the box is acting up. Anyhow, folks, I'll go ahead and wrap it up now because apparently we got some issues going on. It is your boy Tim the Handsome Liberal. I appreciate you folks rolling with me so late. Big dog, yeah! Thank you for the hat and mustache supporting the program. Shout out to you as well. Thank you folks that did support. I always love that. But I've tried to bring up several guests, and TikTok is goofing around on that or something. So we'll leave it at that. I'll see you folks tomorrow. If you favor this type of dialogue, feel free to follow the program. Instagram, TikTok, Substack, watching us on YouTube. Give us a sub. Until then, you guys take care. I'll see you tomorrow.